at it. And, you know, I think the performance in the second half, I was sitting next to Brad, and he was saying to me, and I think I'm right in quoting him, is that this is the best attacking formation or attacking performance that we've seen in the World Cup so far, in terms of the way that they put it upon the Croatians. Whatever we may have created in the media about how old this Croatian team is, Troy was saying to me off air that the average age of the Croatians is 28 and a half, whereas our team is 27. We've been walking around under the impression this is a dad's army, just because you've got Luka Modric. So they're not mugs. You know, I think we could have done better with the goals, but notwithstanding that, you know, whatever lessons we think we need to learn defensively, Tuchel will learn them and they'll make some adjustments. But offensively, if you look at that performance, that is as good as you want an England side to play. It's as good as an England side has played on the front foot for a very, very long time. And you look at it, and 4-2 flatters the Croatians to some extent, because England could have had 6 in the second half. So I think it's a great marker. It's a great start to the tournament. It's what the public will want to see. Tuchel is hiding his light behind a bushel, because I would imagine he was very strong in the dressing room at half-time to wake a few people up, because you saw it, they came out of the traps like men possessed. Yeah. You know, they scored the perfect cure to a goal just before half-time is a goal directly after half-time. And that's exactly what England got.
I also thought as well, sorry, I know you've got to go to break.
No problem.
But you know, now you see so many managers say buzzwords. And he's talking about being aggressive, being on the front foot. He actually means it, doesn't he? You get that sense of, well, when he say we're on the front foot and be brave, if we make this mistake, it's on me. It's not on you, lads. So I think when a manager's that...
talkSPORT. Sports updates. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Afternoon, I'm Toby Gillis. One of Harry Kane's former England and Spurs teammates has told talkSPORT the national team finally has a plan to get the best from their star man.
For example, he came deep to get the ball, and I saw Anthony Gordon coming into the centre as a number 9, running in behind. I saw Declan Rice vacating his number 6 position and going higher up to allow Harry Kane to have time and space on the ball to work his magic.
Andros Townsend says it's the first time he's seen a proper tactic aimed at getting the best from Kane for England, but at the back there are concerns. Many think the issue was no Mark Gay on the left of the two centre-backs, but Steve Bruce told us he's looking elsewhere.
We need Declan Rice in particular to have that defensive mode on and defend better as a team. I mean, their second goal, we're all back behind the ball. You know, our defensive block was low, but we didn't really put any pressure on it.
England's second game of the World Cup is against Ghana, live on talkSPORT on Tuesday. Scotland are preparing for their second match against Morocco, also live on talkSPORT. And maybe they're beginning to see the true value of their narrow 1-0 win over Haiti in their opener. Here's their former midfielder Barry Bannon, who thinks the shocks we've seen so far makes that an increasingly positive result.
It's not easy to turn up and just beat these teams, but yeah, it's a great start for Scotland. They've got the 3 points. The other two teams, Brazil and Morocco, have got a point apiece now, so they'll be feeling the pressure now.
The Lionesses face Greece, then either Slovakia or Ukraine in their World Cup qualifying playoff. They failed to qualify for Brazil automatically after finishing second in their group behind Spain. Ben Stokes rang the Durham head coach Ryan Campbell to ask to play against Northants tomorrow, and he will start the game. Campbell says the England captain might open the bowling. Earlier this week, Brendan McCullum revealed his worrying concern for Stokes, prompting speculation he was suffering from a mental health crisis after that nightclub incident. McCullum is currently watching his England team batting in the second test with New Zealand, back out after tea. And at the Oval, here's talkSPORT's Sam Ellard.
And a good platform for England going into this evening session. 119 for 2. Emilio Gay playing just his second test match. Is 2 runs away from another test match 50. Unbeaten on 48 and playing nicely. At the other end, the England captain for this game, maybe the next game, is Joe Root. He's not out on 20. 2 wickets to fall in the afternoon session. Duckett run out for 36 and Bethel edging behind on 9. England 119 for 2, trailing by 272 runs.
Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
We start with the news. A teacher who murdered and sexually abused his adopted baby boy will never be released from prison and jailed for 2 Chinese spies after the first conviction of its kind in British history. More news with Emma at past. Your weather this afternoon: rain on its way this evening in Scotland and across Northern Ireland. Dry and clear elsewhere and feeling muggy, especially in the south of England and Wales.
A very good afternoon to you. This is World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling, and Gabby Agbonlahor. It is 5 minutes past 4. And normally when I'm saying it's 5 minutes past 4, it's because my alarm has just woken me up in the morning, Gabs. I didn't realise this time of day even existed, mate.
It's nice, isn't it? It's nice to come to work and start the show at 4 p.m, Jeff, not 6 a.m. Very early.
The sort of job swap with Goldstein. I absolutely love it. Long may it continue. Look, I tell you what, it made me think with World Cup come round, and my memory went back to a couple of years ago, and you and I presented a lot of stuff from the European Championship.
Yes, enjoyable.
In Germany.
Yep.
And it made me think that we're here in the studio and everybody else is in the States.
I know.
And that must be some kind of comment. What a rubbish job we did in Germany.
No, we done all right. I remember that actually first show, wasn't it? Was it the Scotland game?
Yeah.
Against Germany, and then we watched the game afterwards. No, but how have you felt so far with the World Cup, Jeff? We're a week in now. What have you made of it?
Well, it's been interesting. It's been drawn out, hasn't it? You know, in the sense you've got 5 p.m. kickoffs, and 7 and 8 and 11 and
2, 5 a.m.
Anyway, look, coming up today, we'll take a look at the big names as they come to the party at the World Cup. Crookie will bring us the latest news from around the tournament from Dallas. We'll discuss the new World Cup format and ask whether the increase in teams has actually been a success so far. And of course, we'll be looking back on a brilliant night for England in the company of the former three-lion Kyle Walker as they got their World Cup off to a great start.
I thought it was the sharpest I've seen Kane start a tournament. How many times have we had discussions about Kane where people are not having Kane?
I genuinely think we can win the World Cup there.
We've seen Bellingham, as I said, for 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the second half until he went off. He was absolutely sensational. I mean, what a player he is.
4-2 England, the sweetest of all World Cup scorelines in their history. Replicated again here in Dallas.
Things that I would like to say to you. Yes, this is World Cup Game Day live, following on from that England victory by 4 glorious goals. You can get involved 03717 3344. You know what, Gabby? It's a long time since I've enjoyed an England performance, or England's second half performance, as much as last night.
It was, you know what I loved about it, Jeff? It was, let's go for it. You know, we're not going to try and win this game 3-2. Let's go for 4-2. Let's go for 5 if we can. I love the changes as well to bring Saka, Rodgers and Rashford on at the same time. Triple substitution as well. And then the way we scored that 4th goal, I think that's the football you want to see. That's entertaining football. Rashford staying on that left-hand side. Great first ball from Reece James. Jed Spence, I'm looking to get through. Then Saka plays it into Rashford, and what a great finish. That's the football that England fans want to see in a tournament.
Yeah, it was a brilliant, breathtaking second half from England. Are we favourites now?
No, I still would look at it, and everyone wants to be positive, of course. A lot to be positive about, but the way Croatia scored those 2 goals was a worry for me. The first one, to be unmarked on the edge of the box there, can Pickford do better? The second goal, you feel there's no danger, Jeff, when they've got the ball there. And to score a goal like that, which they did, is not good enough. And I'm sure Thomas Tuchel will look at a lot of that. So 5 days now before the next game. I'm sure they'll have a lot of meetings, debriefs to look at what they could have done better for those 2 goals.
Yeah. A lot of praise, though, for England boss Thomas Tuchel and how he reacted, particularly at half-time. After last night's game, he spoke to talkSPORT's Faye Carruthers about that second-half performance.
Very happy with the reaction, because we encouraged everyone at half-time and said, go for it. This is, play with more freedom, play more front-footed. And we did. We created a lot of chances, scored beautiful goals, and have a well-deserved win. And everyone is very tired in the dressing room, which I like, because it just, you feel what you have done. You put a real shift in, was very intense and very emotional.
Yeah, the players told us that you told them that they needed to loosen up in that first half. I think Anthony Barry at half-time described it as a complicated and confusing first half of football. Yeah. What do you take from it going forward for the rest of the tournament?
Well, first of all, that we have the spirit right. and that we can overcome moments where we're not at our best, and just maybe also what we like. Maybe it's also important not to over-expect. It's also normal that the pressure is on and we play against a strong opponent. So there are a lot of positives to take away, because we got a very important win. And of course, everyone knows that we were not at our best level. So there's more to come. We have to improve, which is a given. But now we have the basis that everyone is also happy to improve, and the atmosphere will be right. And today is important that the player enjoy this moment. We are over the starting line. We get our first win, first 3 points, well deserved, and still things to improve. This is how it should be.
Yeah, well deserved. I mean, I said it was 4. It could have been 6, 7, 8. You know, I looked at the chances. O'Reilly had a couple of chances second half. Harry Kane a couple. Bellingham had another chance as well as the goal he scored. Gordon had a chance as well. Realistically now, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. Ghana and Panama still to play. This should be a 9-point group.
100%. 100%. Ghana last night, seen the highlights of that game, scored a late winner, but Panama as well, nothing to worry about. And I didn't think there was much to worry about, Jeff. And I think everyone agreed with me before the Croatia game. This isn't the Croatia side of 6, 7, 8 years ago. Luka Modric, he looked 41 last night. You know, Kovacic come on for Modric. You look at Perisic still playing on the left-hand side. It was a game where we should be winning by not 4-2. We should be winning that game 3-4-0. So the chances that we had and we missed as well, that is what I expected of the game. I didn't expect us to concede because Croatia didn't really have a lot going forward, but that is a game where we should be winning comfortably, I feel. If you're serious about winning the World Cup.
I mean, it's impossible to know what we've beaten. That's the truth of the matter, isn't it? But there we go.
Yeah.
All you can do, as they say, is beat what is in front of you. And England have done just that. Jill, good afternoon to you. She said, Jeff, it's you. Yeah, it is Jill. She said, I missed you on breakfast. Please come back very soon. Jill, I am staying right where I am, believe you me. We'll be talking Jude Bellingham when we come back in a couple of minutes.
Neil, yesterday we had another French legend in the studio in Emmanuel Petit, and I asked him, no, in fact, I didn't even ask him, he just offered it to us. He said that he thinks Mbappe is more important than Henry was to France. Who do you put above the other on that list? Who's a better player? Who's more important?
I think Mbappe is the main man. He's the guy for France, and actually he's had some tough time at Madrid this season, but with France. He's always there and he's always playing well. And I think when you look at the stats he scored, I think he's got already like 14 World Cup goals, 58 goals for France. So he's the top scorer of all time. I've backed him from the start, and I believe he's got a big desire to prove like all the people wrong after his tough season, I'd say, at Madrid.
I remember as a kid growing up watching France, you had the great Michel Platini playing, who I think is possibly the best French player of all time. Is that how you guys see it over in France? Who is number one on your list?
It's hard to say because I feel like most of the time great players are being recognized more when they retire. And I think that's kind of what happened with Mbappe when, you know, he was playing for Paris. Like he was criticized a lot, but then we left him, and you know that the League One in France is not the same with or without Mbappe, and I think that will happen to him. And I believe we've never had a player coming from very young age, like doing the things that he's done already. He's one of the World Cup. He scored so many goals, and so I think he will be number one on the list for sure. But that will probably happen at the end of his career.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Look, I'm feeling so at home already. You see, that is my kind of music. Bit of Zeppelin. 17, 18 minutes past 4. You a Zeppelin fan, Gabby?
Yeah, some of the songs, yeah. Some of them I really do like, yeah. I can't name them, though. It's been a while.
Well, this is The Immigrant Song, which is one of their very best pieces of music. So, thanks, Jack. You're listening to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling, and Gabby Agbonlahor, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app. Still to come, we'll be discussing whether Cristiano Ronaldo should still be playing for Portugal. But before that, Real Madrid have agreed a deal to sign Ibrahima Konate on a free transfer when his Liverpool contract expires. And Man United and Tottenham are interested in signing Crescencio Somerville from West Ham. Now, the US Open is underway, a bit delayed at Shinnecock Hills. What a test that Shinnecock Hills course is. As well, Rory McIlroy took an early advantage. Let's see how it's going right now. It's a very good afternoon to talkSPORT's Gabby Partington. Afternoon, Gabs.
Good afternoon, Gabby.
Hey, guys. Every time I hear Gabby, I'm like, it's me, but it's you. You're the bigger Gabby.
You're the proper Gabby.
Well, I'm the female Gabby. How are you both doing, all right?
Oh,
yeah,
well, thank you.
Yeah, really good. Look, I mentioned the course.
Yes.
It is a tough old test, isn't it, Gabby?
You would not want to be playing in this. Honestly, just watching, it's just like you see the flags going, you see their clothes items blowing in the wind. Look, we're only at the 20 miles per hour mark, and we actually could see highs of 50 miles per hour this afternoon. How mental is that? Obviously, I mentioned things are changing almost as quickly as the weather here. Rory McIlroy, he briefly moved clear at the top thanks to back-to-back birdies at 11 and 12. After starting his day, of course, on the 10th, but he's since handed one back. Fellow countryman Graham McDowell also enjoyed a fast start before dropping a shot on his fourth. Now, Mad, the 2010 champion, is actually making his first major appearance since 2020 after remarkably making his way through qualifying to get his way in this week. Now, both McIlroy and McDowell, part of a group at 1 under par, one back of leader Sam Burns, who actually had a lead at the US Open about 12 months ago. The morning wave are all out on the golf course, the wind still whipping across Shinnecock Hills, and with the gustier conditions expected this afternoon, the real test may just be beginning.
Gabby, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Gabby.
Thanks, guys. Speak to you later.
That wind whipping across the course, it means
difficult.
Conditions are just going to dry out and dry out. The greens are going to get quicker and quicker and quicker. When it was last played there, 2018, the winning total was 281. That's 1 over par. Now, that just doesn't happen in major championships as a rule. Right, Gabby Agbonlahor is with me, of course, and later, another player who was pretty quick, Kyle Walker, is in the studio. You were pretty quick yourself.
I was, yeah. But the older generation might remember, not these young kids.
Yeah.
I don't think I was. Yeah, I had good pace, Jeff.
Who do you think would be quicker? Were you quicker than Kyle?
Do you know what? What was funny is that, I don't know if he will remember, but he was at Villa on loan for a season. And during practice matches, during training, I was playing left wing, he was right back. And every time he'd knock it past me, I'd get there. Every time I knocked it past him, he would get there. So I can't choose, because when you watch his career, no one paced Kyle Walker.
No.
But that was my maybe only plus to my game, was how quick I was in behind. So people remember me as being very quick. Be interested to see what he says when he comes in.
It will. By the way, he's still not too shabby in terms of pace. Because I remember Arsenal against Burnley at the end of the season. Remember the moment where he outpaced Gabriel Martinelli?
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
It'd be interesting to ask him as well. Nowadays, you have to do the test and that, don't they? The sprint test.
Yeah.
What's he like now compared to 5 years ago?
Yeah.
I still would say Kyle Walker's faster than most players in the Premier League still now, because he was that quick 10 years ago. Top player, top career. Lucky to have him on today.
Speed has never been one of my fortes. Made for comfort.
Yes.
Definitely not speed. Let's talk to Jude Bellingham, shall we? Yeah. After that brilliant second half performance from him last night. He wasn't the only one, but he was fantastic in the second half, putting them back in front moments after half-time at just the time when England really did need a goal to settle themselves down. After that late first half equaliser sent them in at 2-2. Thomas Tuchel spoke to the media afterwards, and he was asked about the Real Madrid man.
He loves these pressure games. He loves that brings out the best in him. So that's an easy decision to let him play and to trust him. Also because of the last 16 days, 17 days, how he bought into the idea of team spirit, into the idea of brotherhood, and into the idea of how we want to play football, which is slightly different position than to his position in Real Madrid.
Yeah. I mean, because of, his reputation, all eyes are permanently on Jude Bellingham, aren't they? He's expected to produce at every single opportunity. And it's fair to say that at times he hasn't. But last night looked like the real Jude Bellingham stood up.
And let's not forget, he's 22. 23 in I think, maybe 10 days, a couple of weeks. The only problem I have with you, Jeff, is that about 3-4 months ago, there were a lot of journalists saying Jude Bellingham should be nowhere near this England squad. After what Thomas Tuchel said in his interview, no way should he. And it was like, come on, guys. Like, this is a 22-year-old. He's still a kid. This is his 4th tournament at 22 years of age. This is incredible. He's playing for Real Madrid. As a country, we like to pick one player out of an England setup that we want to try and gun for. We want to try and, bring down from the height that they're on. And this kid just goes about his life. He's playing for the biggest club in the world. He's doing better now at, as well, interviews, what he's doing after the game.
I think he's had some
he's had some media training. He's doing more interviews. And he, even though he's a youngster still, Jeff, he's a leader. And your leaders have to come out and speak to the media. I thought he spoke very well after the game last night. And yesterday is what Jude Bellingham needs to do. And if he doesn't, there's players that will take his place. He knows Morgan Rogers is there, ready. Eze's there, ready. And that goal he scored in the second half, the third goal, fantastic for him. And that's what this country wants to see, Jude Bellingham putting in performances like that.
Yeah. The country will be delighted. But if I'm Morgan Rogers or Eberechi Eze, I know he's part of a squad. I'd be sitting there thinking, oh, God, there's my chance of starting gone.
Oh, yeah, definitely starting. But we don't know how these games fizzle out, do we? Say if we beat Ghana, does he make changes for the Panama game? I think that'll happen with a lot of the countries, Jeff. Argentina, wouldn't surprise if Messi's rested in certain games. So I do think the players will get their game time. But if you're Morgan Rogers, Jeff, the rise that he's had in his career, not starting in the World Cup, you want to, but no problem. You've got Jude Bellingham, who's done it for longer at the top. He's playing for Real Madrid. It's his 4th tournament experience. And that's what people started to get into who's going to start at number 10, who's going to start here. Who cares? As long as the team performs, I don't care who plays, as long as we get the performances, get the points, and we win games.
Who else stood out for you?
Rashford, when you come on, I expected that. I thought Reece James, right back as well, when he went to centre midfield. Nico O'Reilly done well. Harry Kane, it was his time. We said it before the game yesterday, Jeff, that Haaland scored a brace, Mbappe scored a brace, Messi got a hat-trick. It's time for Kane to show us what he's been doing all season at Bayern Munich. 61 goals in all competitions. And he took the first penalty.
Shocker.
Annoyed me a bit.
A shocker of a penalty.
Honestly, Jeff, I was watching it right at the talkSPORT fan zone, and I was saying, he's going keeper's right, he's left all day, he's going to whip it. And he missed. I was like, that's not Harry Kane. Don't change what you've always done. And the second one was more conviction. The header was great as well. And that's the sort of performance that the confidence you get from that. Bellingham scoring, the pressure's off.
Yeah.
Harry Kane getting two, the pressure's off. Now they're going to express themselves.
And Harry as well. I don't even remember, 93rd minute, he's back in his own penalty area, blocking a shot.
That's it.
There were so many questions about his fitness during the Euros, the last Euros. Well, let's face it, he was a massive disappointment. But again, this looks like the real Harry Kane.
How much do you want it?
Deal, doesn't
How much do you want it?
Yeah.
We've seen how much Messi wanted it in the World Cup in Qatar, Jeff. He wanted it. The Argentinian players wanted it for Lionel Messi. How much does Bellingham want it? He showed last night he does. How much does Harry Kane want it? After the game, when they're clapping the fans and you've got the music on, it looked like this group of players with the manager, they believe that they can go and win the World Cup. Because how many World Cups has Harry Kane got left?
The clock will be ticking, that's for sure. Tex says, in my opinion, Jude can never be questioned. You don't get signed by Real Madrid age 19 if you are not magnificent. He's our best player and will just get better.
But you have to be fair, though. Like, if he's not performing, he can be questioned.
Yeah, of course.
We've got so many good players in this country. Foden and Palmer aren't there?
Yeah.
Eze and Rodgers.
Yeah.
If any player isn't performing, they can be questioned and dropped.
And Bellingham has been questioned repeatedly in truth. So it was great to see that he's overcome that questioning and could perform like he did, particularly in the second half.
Agreed.
Still to come, we'll be discussing whether Cristiano Ronaldo should be playing for Portugal. But first, it's time for No Googling. So we want to know, before last night, when was the last time England beat a top 15 side in the world rankings at a World Cup? And who did they beat? When was the last time England beat a top 15 side in the world rankings at a World Cup, and who did they beat? Any ideas, Gabs?
No idea, mate. No idea. I did hear the answer about 10 minutes ago. I'll pretend I don't know.
That's cheated. We'll let you know the answer when we come back in a couple of minutes.
Donald Trump has been given license to join the World Cup winners in their trophy lift, just as he did, as you remember, at the Club World Cup. The US president has already been told by FIFA, we want you, President Trump, to hand over the trophy to the eventual champions. I mean, I wonder, what does that look like as far as you're concerned? Is it right and proper that Trump, of all people, should be right in the middle of it all come the trophy lift?
I think it would be hugely popular if England were to win the trophy, if Trump wrestled the World Cup off Harry Kane and began to do a little conga. I think everyone in Britain would share my view that would be absolutely magnificent. No, I think it's got the potential to be quite embarrassing, but I think that Trump is quite savvy about the reaction to what happened with the World Club Championship. If he's not, his son Barron is, because his son Barron loves football, loves our football. He's actually an Arsenal fan. And I think he will probably have a quiet word with the old man and say, look, Dad, it should you get the trophy anywhere near you, don't try and grab it.
Well, as you know, Simon, who's right beside me here, always says politicians should stay out of football. So, Simon, why should they make an exception for the president?
because you have to manage this man. Whether you disagree with his principles or you agree with them, it's kind of irrelevant. In my ideal world, would have politicians nowhere near sports. So when the German politicians yesterday were saying they weren't going to come because they disagree with certain aspects of Trump's outlook, I said, hallelujah, more of that. The situation with Trump has a relatively unique feel about it because Trump is such an omnipotent character that it does add to the argument. But if I had my ideal world, I would be saying Trump nowhere near it. In terms of being on the pitch, dealing with the trophy, that's someone else's responsibility, and it steers into the narrative that I always underpin my arguments with. Keep these politicians away from leveraging sports, whoever it may be. So I can't have it both ways. I can't say, well, you know, I've got no problem with Trump, full stop. I recognise the fact that he's probably the most powerful man in the world, and he is, to some extent, omnipotent in whatever he does. But
now, who'd have thought the plan to get the best from your greatest ever goal scorer might help England get their straps?
I commentated on Argentina 2 nights ago, and everything those other 10 players do is to get the best out of Lionel Messi. And I'm starting to see that with England. I'm starting to see them work for our talisman, work for Harry Kane.
That's Andros Townsend, ex-England and Kane's former club teammate, telling talkSPORT he's encouraged by Thomas Tuchel getting runners around the striker. But defensively, there remain questions after the 4-2 win over Croatia. Here's Steve Bruce on Stones and Konsa as a pairing.
As a team, I think we can defend better. It's not just picking on 2 individuals like your centre-backs.
Yeah.
They may need a bit of protection.
Remember, you can hear England's second World Cup game live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night. That's against Ghana. Meanwhile, we'll bring you Scotland-Morocco live at 11 tomorrow night. The former Scotland midfielder Barry Bannon's told us, on reflection, the win over Haiti's become a better result as the tournament's gone on.
Looking at all the other results that have happened and the shocks that have happened so far, you can look back at that result now and be positive about it.
We'll be hearing from Steve Clarke later today. And Ben Stokes, not currently with the England cricket team, will play for Durham in the county championship starting tomorrow. Remember, we'll have live updates of England's second test against New Zealand throughout.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is
Good afternoon, you're listening to World Cup Gameday on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Still to come, we'll be hearing what Thomas Tuchel said to his players at half-time last night. And now, a few months ago, we brought you the first of our no Googling questions today. We asked before last night, when was the last time England beat a top 15 side in the world rankings at a World Cup? And who did they beat? And there was the musical clue. You know it, Gabby, anyway, don't you?
I'll take the clue out of the music, Jeff. Argentina, is that correct?
Yeah, Argentina 2002. I was there that day. Sapporo, Japan World Cup.
Yes.
I was sitting behind Nancy Delolio, who was Sven-Göran Eriksson's lady at the time. And it was amazing. Michael Owen won the penalty. David Beckham scored it.
Yes.
We talk about central defenders in the current England team. Central defenders that day, Rio and Sol Campbell.
Oh,
wow. How
we'd love them now, wouldn't we?
Oh,
I feel if we had Ferdinand, Terry, or Sol Campbell now, Jeff, in this group of players, I think we'd be favourites. And that's where we're lacking the centre halves.
Maybe where we're a little bit weak. That is for sure. By the way, in that Argentina team that day, one Mauricio Pochettino.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was Ayala centre half?
Yeah, he was. He was playing as well.
It was a great
Look,
centre-half,
it
wasn't
was just a fantastic occasion. Now, England's cricketers are in action in the second test against New Zealand. Been a bit of a rain delay, but they're back out again. Now watching at the Oval is Sam Ellard. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Jeff. Yeah, 20 minutes or so delay just outside of tea, but thankfully the rain's gone away. It's still quite cloudy, but it's dry, so we're playing. England 119 for 2. The morning session saw New Zealand be bowled up for 391. They scored quickly in the morning session, largely thanks to Glenn Phillips, who scored his first Test match 100. Emilio Gay at the top of the order for England once again is going pretty nicely. Made his Test debut last week. He's unbeaten on 48, looking pretty composed and compact to the crease. And yeah, he's adjusted really nicely to life in the Test match arena. At the other end is the England captain, is Joe Root, just drives beautifully past mid-off. Root moves on to 24. The 2 wickets to full. Ben Duckett raced on to 36 with just 25 balls, then was run out beautifully by Nathan Smith for 36. Jacob Bethel, the second to go for 9. A nice delivery from Nathan Smith going around the wicket, angling the ball into the left-handed bat. Touch of movement away from the left-handed Bethel, who pushed it a wide ball, edged behind. Gay's got 48, Root's got 24. England now 119 for 2, trailing New Zealand by 272 runs.
Sam Ellard reporting from the Oval. I can just tell you, by the way, as well as Scandinavia, trained by Aidan O'Brien, who else has dethroned Trawlerman in the Gold Cup at Royal Ascot. Trawlerman, John Gosden's horse, won it last year, of course, looking for a repeat bid. But Scandinavia has won at 11-8 favourite. And now let's round up all the latest World Cup action on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Daily Tournament Roundup on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
And let's start with Portugal. Held to a 1-1 draw against DR Congo in their opening World Cup game yesterday. Brilliant for DR Congo, wasn't it? First point and first goal at any World Cup. Not sure what Newcastle fans were thinking when they saw Johan Visser was the man who got the goal.
Yeah, he was unbelievable, Jeff.
He's a goal machine.
I know, but he was flying around, he was sprinting, he looked like he had energy, no issues. Newcastle fans, Eddie Howe must be thinking, like, where was this last season?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll see the best of him next season. But the big talking point was that Cristiano Ronaldo not only started, but he played the whole game. No shots on target, no opportunities, 3 shots off target as well. He hasn't scored in his last 10 games for Portugal in major competitions. And the question being asked inevitably is whether he should be starting. What do you think?
I don't think he should be. I look at Portugal, I look at the players that they've got, I look at other strikers we'll come on to in a minute that maybe they could have played in front of Ronaldo. But when it isn't going well, take him off. That's the only problem I've got with it. If you are going to start him and it's not working, 55, 60 minutes off. It's not working. You know, he's not holding the ball up. He's coming too deep and trying to play a number 10. Thierry Henry last night after the game sort of summed it up perfectly. Of like, the cross comes in. As a striker, you know where to go. You know where Haaland scored his goal the other night? In front of the keeper, 6-yard box. While you're dropping off into Fernandez's space, Fernandez throws his arms up. I get a feeling that some of the players might start to get fed up the longer this goes on. How many tournaments are Portugal gonna go through where all you're hearing about is Ronaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldo? You watch Messi and you see a bunch of soldiers next to him who are fighting for Messi to win. Again, the other night, when they're walking out in the tunnel during the game, they're fighting for Messi. You don't really see that vibe at Portugal. You see that it's always the Ronaldo problem. Should he be starting? And if you're some of the other strikers on the bench, you're saying, like, any danger?
Yeah. And if you're some of the other players who are actually in the team, and look, this is an ageing Portuguese side. There are a few 30-plussers in that team. You're thinking, this could be my last chance of winning a major tournament. And, you know, some of the headlines were pretty harsh. I read one newspaper headline which said 10 men and a statue. But I sort of think, you know, there's no shame in a sportsman or woman being past their best and holding their hands up and saying, we're past our best. And CR7, for whatever people think, he's past his best.
Yes.
End of story.
But it's ego, isn't it? Cristiano Ronaldo, you could say, is bigger than Portugal. Well, he is. So Messi, his biggest rival this generation, has won the World Cup. Messi scored a hat-trick in his first game. Ronaldo's thinking, I can do that. No matter what anyone thinks of Ronaldo, he's still a goal scorer. And we have to think back, yes, the last 2 tournaments he hasn't turned up, but the Nations League last summer, scored in the semi-final, scored in the final. So he's probably saying to his critics, well, like, the Nations League is a competition that Portugal done very well in and won, and I scored 2 goals in the semi-final and final, scored a goal. When I watched him, Jeff, I played that position. I knew when my time was up. You have to be able to, like, affect the game. You know, you need someone to hold the ball up. You need someone to attract 2 defenders to you. It creates space for all the other players. When you're looking at Neves, you're looking at Vitinha, Fernandes, I bet they're dying for a striker who's running in behind, not coming into their space, and it's too crowded in that midfield. So Roberto Martinez has got a lot of decisions to make, but I think the next game is Uzbekistan. They're playing in the next game. I think he starts him because he'll think to himself, Ronaldo will score against them, and then everyone bees quiet then.
Yeah.
That's what I think will happen.
You mentioned Messi, by the way. I mean, he got a hat-trick, didn't he, against Algeria, but he was subbed off.
Exactly.
You know, so...
Well, I think as well, Jeff, when we talk about Ronaldo as well, it's not as if, Jeff, they've got an outstanding striker to replace him as well. You look at Gonzalo Ramos, for instance, 45 appearances last season for PSG, 12 goals, scored 10 goals in 25 appearances for Portugal. He's the one out of the others, Guedes and Leao. Ramos is the one that maybe can feel a bit harsh that he's not getting more minutes. Do you remember the last World Cup, Jeff, when the manager dropped Ronaldo? Didn't last long, did he, afterwards?
No. Yeah, and it's a very difficult situation for Roberto Martinez.
Exactly.
Joe B says, Ronaldo didn't play well. Don't forget to look at the performance by DR Congo. Let's just wait for Ronaldo's performance in the next game, which is really what you were saying, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Talking about next games, of course, England take on Ghana next up. Ghana scored a 95th minute winner against Panama. Without sounding like the arrogant Englishman, on the basis of that game, it's hard to see either posing many threats. I mean, they've got Semenyo, who obviously will pose a threat to our back four.
Yeah, but when you've got a player like Semenyo, fantastic player, but you can sort of like, in your pre-match meetings, Jeff, you'll find a way of saying, okay, Semenyo gets the ball, okay, Anderson, you go over and double up, or on that one player. The way England played in that second half, they just looked like a team that had a wake-up call at half-time. Okay, this is the World Cup, guys. Wake up. Get after it. Anyone's tired, they come off. That's what it seemed like. They were pressing. Everyone was flying forward. That goal for Rashford, how many players are in the box? We're flooding forward, trying to get another goal. That's not normally what we would have done under Southgate, maybe. At 3-2, it's like, okay, maybe another defensive midfielder on. What did we finish with? Was it Anderson and Reece James in centre midfield? So I love it from Thomas Tuchel, and that's how the England fans want to see their team play. But if we play a better side, how will that work out?
But do you see any changes, though, Gabs? Because I sort of think that he has decided this is his best 11 and he's going to start them.
Or do you think that, say, Rashford and Gordon, do you think it was literally 50-50 and he's probably got, I'll give you Gordon, this is your chance. Rashford, you come on and show me again what you can do. Let's not forget as well, Rashford, 19 goals in 73 games for his country, so much experience in tournament as well. Has Rashford, with that finish, forced his way into the side against Ghana? But apart from that, I don't see many change. Maybe Saka, is he ready to start, Jeff? We don't know how the Achilles is doing. If he's fit and he's raring to go, he looks sharp when he come on, helps set up that goal for Rashford as well. So he's got good headaches in a way, hasn't he, Thomas Tuchel? And then you look at the Panama game, you can say, right then, Kane, you're not playing.
Yeah.
You can start resting players, save them for the last 32.
Yeah. Let's move on to the biggest talking point of this World Cup so far, in many respects, hydration breaks. England fans joined a number of other countries in booing the break against Croatia last night. It's bonkers, isn't it? It's in an air-conditioned stadium. We all know why it's done. It's all about, commercials on American TV and finance as far as FIFA is concerned. And I think we're probably stuck with it for forevermore.
Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what protest and booing. Infantino and FIFA, Jeff, they'll do whatever they like. If they wanted to put in extra hydration breaks, nothing anyone can do about it. He doesn't care. Look at their behaviour before the World Cup started, buying all the hotels and trying to extort people with the prices of tickets. Do you know what I mean, Jeff? The working class want to go and watch their countries go in a World Cup, and some tickets are £1,000. Like, £1,000, Jeff, to watch a ticket. We're moaning over here when it's £80 for a Champions League game.
Yeah.
Because it's too much.
Yeah.
So it's disgraceful. Then it won't change.
No, it won't. Money talk.
Nothing you can do.
Simple as that. Yeah. Josh says, felt before the tournament, Portugal had a great chance, but only if Ronaldo doesn't play. The Portuguese players have to be fed up. The Euros, in the Euros, everything felt as if it had to go through Ronaldo. It's getting pathetic. He should hold his hands up.
Do you know what it is, Jeff? Say if Ronaldo's ego, say if he just calm his ego down and say, okay then, I'm okay if I come on in games. If I can come on 75 minutes and score a goal, it's about Portugal winning the World Cup. It's not about Ronaldo being a star player. If his ego can be tamed, then Portugal have got a chance. If it can't, and he's going to demand, because he's bigger than Portugal, that he has to start every game. If he's got that power, then I agree. I don't see Portugal winning this World Cup.
Yeah.
Because they could play a false nine as well. How many players they've got, Jeff? How many top wingers, top midfielders? So it's definitely a problem.
They've got a great squad. Great squad. Time for a hydration break, mate. That was a roundup of all the latest World Cup action on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. They're here for it.
Daily Tournament Roundup on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
And we'll be back in a couple of moments when we'll be talking about terrific move as far as Bernardo Silva is concerned, because he sealed his deal with Real Madrid.
I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. We had a nervy 5-10 minutes opening, and a bit of a nervy first half and stuff. I think we need to communicate a bit more with the back four, between the back four and the midfield.
Yeah.
But I could see the high press, and I like the way Pickford was acting as a little bit of a sweeper and sucking their players in, so we could create some gaps in the midfield. I think the only way, and second half, I think we were superb, but I think the only way we're going to win this World Cup is there's two things. Firstly, obviously keeping Kane fit.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely imperative. And the second thing is we will win most of our games from the 70th minute onwards with the attacking players we have on the bench.
Yeah.
It's almost like an embarrassment of riches. Attacking, exciting players. I like the way he just made 3 changes.
Yeah.
And they were positive changes. But
he brought on, when you bring he brought on Morgan Rogers, Saka, and Rashford. I mean, when that Croatia must have been thinking, oh, here we go. I mean, and other teams watching that going, God, you know what? They have got a lot of good players, and they come on. And not only that, are they athletes. I thought Jed Spence was fantastic when he come on as well. Yeah. Quick, athletic, good 1v1, driving forward. And, look, as the tournament goes on, we're going to be playing in different climates. It's going to be hot. What I saw in the last 20 minutes, we look good.
The only thing I'll say on that is that Croatia would change.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
away from 5 o'clock. You're listening to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Still to come, we'll be asking if FIFA could add even more teams. To the next World Cup. But right now, Liverpool has set to sign winger Victor Munoz from Osasuna. They've triggered his £34.5 million release clause, seemingly nipping a deal to Newcastle in the bud.
Happened again, hasn't it?
Oh, I know.
Ekatike happened. Newcastle, Spurs happens to a lot, doesn't it? It must be so frustrating, Jeff.
Absolutely.
I think it was nearly done, and then they went quiet for 24 hours. His representatives, and then Liverpool.
Yeah. Nearly, but not quite. Disappointment as far as Newcastle are concerned. Chelsea, by the way, monitoring Porto goalkeeper Diogo Costa. The US Open is underway at Shinnecock Hills. Let's get an update with talkSPORT's Gabby Pottington. What's happening, Gabs?
Yeah, well, it keeps on blowing. I keep needing to remind myself we're not out on the links in Scotland, but I told you it keeps changing at the top. Ludvig Åberg moves into the outright lead at 2 under par, and that's thanks to 2 birdies and a blemish-free scorecard so far, with Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed among the names, just 1 shot off the pace. We see Tyrrell Hatton at level par. He's searching for his first major. Then a shot further back, a host of names including Scotty Scheffler, Tommy Fleetwood, Cameron Young, and also the youngest of the Fitzpatrick brothers, Alex Fitzpatrick. Just to give you a bit of context here, what a season he is having, by the way. He started the year ranked 200th in the world and has climbed all the way up to 69th. He actually won the Zurich Classic, as you remember, alongside his big brother Matt. Secured his PGA Tour card from that and already has 4 top 10 finishes to his name. He's actually making his US Open debut this week. Yet looks completely at home, doesn't he? Even caught him practicing in his England shirt yesterday. And just quickly, speaking of the Fitzpatricks, the 2022 champion and Matt Fitzpatrick, he gets underway at just before 8:30 UK time, and that's alongside Victor Hovland and Bryson DeChambeau on the tougher side of the draw, with conditions expected to become more challenging as the day goes on.
Gabby, thanks very much indeed. Of course, Scotty Scheffler in that field, looking to be the latest to complete the Grand Slam. This is
Fingers
the one
crossed.
that's eluded him so far. Now let's take a look at the latest odds with Bet365.
On the ball, on talkSPORT with Bet365. Check out more offers than ever before this summer. Head over to Bet365 and see why it's never ordinary. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
And Steve Freeth from Bet365 is with us this afternoon. Afternoon, Steve.
Good afternoon, mate.
Jeff, Gabby, good afternoon.
So I'm assuming after last night, then England are outright favourites, are they, Steve?
Oh, not yet, Jeff. Come on. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. They are into 6-1 joint second favourites, Jeff, with Spain. It's France who are currently the 4-1 favourites. But yes, it was a good start. In fact, we had 2,543 pre-game bets on them to win 4-2.
Really?
At odds of 50-1. So yeah, well done to those punters who foresaw that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible.
I'm still an Argentina man myself, Steve. So did they shorten up a bit after that win against Algeria?
Yeah, a little bit, Jeff. 9-1 into 8-1. Portugal are a point bigger at 9-1 on the drift slightly. Likewise, Brazil. After that, I thought they were quite disappointed against Morocco at 10. Yeah, Germany have stayed the same at 14. Netherlands drifted a little bit after that 2-2 at 20. And bit for Norway as well. Obviously, Haaland doing the business there. They are 25-1. But I could still have a fiver on Morocco, at 40.
Why not?
I'm massively impressed by them.
Can we have some odds on Czech Republic versus South Africa? It's about to kick off now. South Africa so poor in their first game. They need to improve today.
Massively. Yeah, I think they had 3 shots today. I know they had a player sent off, Gab, but come on,
Terrible.
dear. They were bad. They're bigger than 3-1. They're 16-5. Both teams can still qualify.
Yeah, of course.
But which goes to show. But I think the team news has been quite interesting. I see Souček's on the bench as well, and I thought set plays might be key tonight.
He was in the first game as well, wasn't he, Souček?
Yeah, I think he started. He had a goal disallowed, didn't he, with a header?
Okay.
But Krejci scored. So Krejci to score a header from a Soufal assist. He's actually 18-1. Patrick Schick will be their main man, of course. He's 9-2 to score first and 15-8 to be player of the match.
Yeah, Czech Republic, South Africa live on talkSPORT 2. In just a couple of minutes' time, around 5 o'clock. Look, it's a big high-pressure game tonight, isn't it, for Jesse Marsh and Canada? Yeah, it's slightly disappointing, underwhelming start for them. The only one of the host nations who didn't win their opening game. Are they very short against Qatar?
They are, Jeff. Yeah, we're still keeping faith. Canada 2-7, with Qatar at 9-1, and they are and it's 19-4 for a draw in that one. Like I say, I still think that they'll have the crowd behind them, of course, and they'll hopefully get off to a good start. So yeah, we're still keeping the faith with Canada at this stage.
Steve, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, mate.
And those are the latest odds with Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 18+, gambleaware.org.
On the ball, on talkSPORT with Bet365. Get your money back in free bets if your bet builder doesn't come in on every England game. Max free bet varies per customer. Bet restrictions and T's and C's apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Just one quick word on something that happened in the TV coverage. It's got a lot of attention, Gabby, and that was Emma Hayes at the blackboard on ITV. I mean, the blackboard was old hat when I was a boy. But, there's been a lot of criticism of where she was, and it looked like it was Emma Hayes in the kitchen. I've got, no issue with Emma Hayes at all. Except that, my issue with the whole piece was, and I'll quote her, she said, look, England can use the high support option, the stretch option, or the low support option. And I didn't have a clue what she was talking about. It just struck me as jargon. I mean,
I don't understand that.
Do managers talk to players like that?
No, I don't think so. If she said stretching behind, I've heard that before.
Right.
Me as a striker, can you stretch me behind? Can you run me behind? Of course. But I agree with you, Jeff. If you're listening to that during half-time or after the game, you don't know what she's talking about in the sense of, like, if you simple it and say, okay, you should press. Or can England get more width on the left-hand side with Rashford coming on? Or whatever you want to say about the game. But those words, can be quite confusing.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go at Emma Hayes at all. It's just I genuinely didn't quite understand the point that she was trying to make at that.
Even low block. How many times have we had callers on here and they've said stop saying low block?
Yeah, although it has become part of the football vocabulary now.
Of course, but you still a year ago you were getting callers saying, "Oh, stop saying low block, stop saying this." It's just get everyone behind the ball, Yeah. But you got to go with the times, of course. Players will do now, Jeff. But what you said there, I didn't quite understand.
No, just a quick text from Jimmy, who's a Scotland fan. He says, love the show. Worst thing that happened for Portugal was Messi scoring 3 the night before. You could tell there was an awkwardness in the Portugal side right throughout the game. I think their first attempt from outside the box was around 70+ minutes. The rest of the game was trying to lay on a goal for Ronaldo for his personal records. And a text in here as well saying, Jeff, that's very harsh. This is obviously talking about Emma Hayes. I thought she explained what she meant quite easily by looking at the blackboard. Okay, well, it went over my head a little bit, but
yes.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. For that, we'll be being joined very shortly indeed by the former England defender Kyle Walker. 1 minute away from 5 o'clock.
Jed Spence done. He could have scored, Jed Spence, right? There is no way that any player on that pitch, had they played the amount of minutes, could have got through where he did. He's got legs. He's an athlete. He had a part in.
He's a brilliant player. I'm not disagreeing with that.
But I think he can impact the game not from the start. Jed Spence is not going to start in the World Cup.
Oh, I don't know,
He ain't starting.
I don't know.
Unless it's going to be against Panama in the last game. He ain't starting. He's not starting against Ghana.
I think against France, Brazil, he's a better option than Reece James. He's quicker than Reece James.
He ain't a better player than Reece.
He ain't a better player than Reece James. Reece James weren't great
tonight. He's a better player,
I agree. Reece
James did not look that fit.
Second half was better.
Reece James against Elise, he's going to get skinned. Do you know what I mean?
Are you kidding? Elise plays off the right just to get. get this right. Reece James play.
Reece James against Bacola.
Mate, I'll have him. Mate,
Jed Spence can play left or right back.
Jed Spence is a better defender than Reece James. Jed Spence is a better defender than Reece James.
Oh, honestly, what are you not taken? What have you taken? What's going on? What's happened? What's happened?
Jed Spence is a better defender than Reece James. Where are you going? He's walking out. What? James, you can't walk out. Josh, he's walked out. I can't believe it. He's walked out. Jed Spence, I think he thinks I'm saying that Jed Spence is a better player. I'm not saying he's a better player. He's a better defender than Reece James. Do you agree with me, Josh?
He's definitely better going forward defensively, but I'm not too sure. But I think a lot of people are being very harsh on us here, to be honest. I mean, the 2 goals that Croatia scored, brilliant goals. I mean, the first goal, what can you really do about it? But obviously, if you look at 4-2, it does look a bit ropey for us. But if you watch the 2 goals they scored, I mean, their second goal, brilliant pass. I mean, obviously, he shouldn't have been onside. It's a bit poor there from the back line.
All right, Josh, listen, I'm going to let you go because I've got to go and find Jace. Cundy's walked out. He can't believe it. Look, he's left the studio. It's unbelievable stuff.
Few people win the World Cup as a player. Very few people win the World Cup as a manager. Only 3 men in history have done both. One of them is Didier Deschamps. I mean, what a team. For our younger viewers, that's Zidane, Desailly, Leboeuf, Thuram. I could go on. And in 1998, those legends were captained by Didier Deschamps. Before that tournament, Deschamps had been winning league titles and Champions Leagues with Marseille and Juventus and had led Les Bleus since 1996. They hadn't even qualified for the World Cups in 1990 and 94, but Deschamps had spearheaded the Renaissance. It culminated in that final against Brazil. The 30-year-old playing at the base of midfield was keen to get stuck in. Fais-lui savoir que tu es là, French for let him know you're there, according to Google Translate. Zidane and Petit got the glory, but Deschamps controlled the game before lifting the trophy into the Parisian night sky. After winning the Euros 2 years later, he hung up his boots and jumped into management. He had spells in club football before, in 2012, being put in charge of his nation. France scraped into the 2014 World Cup via the playoffs and were pretty pleased about it. Even a quarter-final defeat couldn't dampen the optimism. The tables, French fans believed, were starting to turn. They were runners-up to Portugal in their own Euros, but that silver medal around the manager's neck was about to change colour. In 2018, World Cup magic. France handed an almighty beatdown to Croatia, and Deschamps got his hands on this for a second time. It meant that he joined Brazil's Mario Zagallo and Germany's Franz Beckenbauer as the only men to have won the World Cup as a player and manager. France's victory even turned their president, Emmanuel Macron, into a meme. These still make me laugh, honestly. Deschamps went close to defending the title in 2022, but some guy called Lionel Messi had his own storyline to complete. Deschamps captained legends, he managed legends, and his World Cup achievements are legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this guy his flowers.
Good afternoon, 5 minutes past 5 o'clock. You're listening to World Cup Game Day on talkSPORT with me, Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor. And I'm delighted to say a man that made 96 appearances for England. Kyle Walker is with us. Afternoon, Kyle.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Relieved to be here.
Oh, yeah. Buzzing to be here. Love this show.
Very quick word, because we're going to go and hear about a goal in the early game today. But what did you make of the England performance last night?
Yeah, it was good. It was 3 points which were needed. Obviously, there's things that we can probably brush upon on the defensive side of work. But the main thing was to get 3 points on the board, and that's what we did. So move on to the next one now.
Much more on England in a moment or two, but of course, game taking place right now in the World Cup, and it's a great start as far as Czechia are concerned. Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0, goal after 6 minutes by Sadilek. It was a nice cutback from the right-hand side by the byline to the edge of the box. One simple touch for Sadilek, who was in acres of space, and one-on-one with the goalkeeper, Jeff. He was never going to miss. Czech Republic have started well. Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0. The game is live on talkSPORT 2.
Game Day live update on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction. Delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
I mean, look, brilliant as far as the Czech Republic are concerned. But Gabby, you were saying earlier on, I tend to agree with you, that South Africa might be the worst of the 48 teams here.
I think they're the worst I've seen so far. That first game, it was in Mexico, was it? Like, they couldn't string 2 passes together. It's a shame, though, because you look back at the World Cup where they hosted it, Jeff, that early goal they got. But it's still early on in this game. It's got to improve. Just try and get some passes together.
Yeah. It's been a bitterly disappointing tournament as far as they're concerned so far. But look, we're only 8 minutes into the game. Less than that. Important game for both sides now. They cannot afford to lose this one. I giggle at this because still to come, we'll be asking if FIFA could add even more teams to the next World Cup. There was a suggestion that if we got 48, we might as well make it 64.
Games on every channel.
Gabby, Kyle, could you name 64 countries?
I couldn't, no. Can you, Kyle? Go on, mate.
No, I think I could do 64. I could do one more than you, which would be all right. So I think it's 48 is more than enough. I think you start chucking more teams into it. I think the standard of football is probably going to come down, and this is the World Cup. What we're talking about.
You've been to multiple tournaments. Has there ever been a tournament you've been to where some of the players that haven't played are playing in a organised friendly? Because I've heard that they've got one against Kansas, haven't they? Maybe on Saturday. The England
another one again.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Odd, isn't it, mate?
Yeah. I think they've done it now, haven't they? They've had the 2 warm-up games plus the one that was behind closed doors, and now it's tournament football. You don't start playing in friendlies for me for a risk of an injury. I understand that people have to keep up to match pace and stuff like that, but you're running the risk of an injury, and you don't really want that.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is, though, what are you doing 6 days? Because 6 days between games.
Play golf. Relax, chill, recover for the next game, maybe train. I think I can think of, a few things that I would do rather than play a friendly game in a World Cup season.
You play golf, you get battered by the media. Look what happened to England's cricketers out in Australia. Right, time to get all the latest from the England camp with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
On England's Corner on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Down the right-hand side of the penalty area, it's across the box and goal. Oh, what a start of the second half. Jude Bellingham. It has only taken 90 seconds, and England lead again.
Told them to calm down. We just conceded a goal, to calm down, calm their nerves, and encourage them to do it our way.
It has to be Thomas Tuchel and his staff's half-time intervention that changed that.
Yeah, England's second half performance earning that victory in the opening group game against Croatia last night, 2-2 at half-time. England having conceded a couple of sloppy goals. They've won it by 4-2. Let's be brutally honest, it could have been 6, 7, 8. Could have been any score. Anthony Gordon spoke to talkSPORT afterwards. He was asked what Tuchel had said at the break.
He said, loosen up. He said, this is not what I see in training. The training sessions have been so intense, the highest level. So it wasn't what we'd done in training, and he said that. He said, what's the worst that can happen? We can lose the game, so what? Go out and be ourselves. I'd rather lose as us, if that makes sense. And it really kicked us into gear because we came out strong.
Thomas Tuchel's halftime team talk, winning high praise from pretty much everybody, including Anthony Gordon there. You must have heard some team talks from all sorts of different people, Kyle, over the years. Any had a major impact on you, or does it go in one ear and out of the other?
No, I think if I look back at it, Pep Guardiola did one. Don't know if we was losing or drawing to Wigan in the cup, and I remember him going on a complete rant. We actually lost the game, so it didn't actually work. But I can remember that one when it was the first. I think it was my first season at Man City, and you kind of thought, okay, this guy means business. Obviously, it's Wigan. No disrespect to Wigan, but he still wanted to win, and obviously wanted to go far in the competition.
Sometimes you need it, don't you, as a player as well? You need it, don't you, if the team's not performing. Like yesterday, that first half, they can do a lot better. Sometimes you need a manager to just give you a bit of a rocket, don't you?
Yeah. You ever have that?
Martin O'Neill done it a few times at half time, but he just called us cowards. To be honest, he was just old school and savage. Like, you play like cowards. A lot of you are cowards. Get out there. Just kept it short and simple, but ruthless. Martin was.
Yeah. Did Gareth ever lose his rag at half time?
I think everyone's kind of knows what Gareth was about. He was very calm, collective, and he was probably the good cop. Steve Holland was the one that would probably come in and, tear us a new one if he didn't think that we was doing what we should be doing. But I think sometimes some players need it. Some players don't really want you to shout at them because they probably go into the shell, but others need it. I'm a person that I want telling. I want someone to shout at me because it gets a reaction out of me.
But was you one of the players that would do it as well? Because obviously the career you've had, senior pro at times, were you one that had to dig players out?
Yeah, of course. And I think sometimes you have to dig yourself out first. Yeah. I think you dig yourself out and then you know that you're accountable and you're making yourself accountable before you make others accountable. But they've got a good group of lads there. That's one thing that I can say. The senior members with Harry, Jordan Henderson, Pickers, Stonesy. It's a good group of senior players. And we had a good group before, the likes of me, Maguire and stuff like that. But it needs to be a team thing and you need to demand the highest level from each other.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be a good group, doesn't it? Because there are probably a number of players there who already know that they're not going to play much part necessarily. Obviously, the second and third choice goalkeepers, Chalabar Konsa, maybe Dan Burn. So you've got to have really good characters in the squad.
You've got to. And I think when you're with a tournament or you're in a tournament and you're away for a month to 6 weeks, you need a good group because you're spending so much time with each other. I've said it numerous times on this show that the thing that's going to make sure that England get far in this competition is make sure that they have a good group, because if there's a bad egg in the team, then all of a sudden it could all fall apart.
There's a lot of the golden generation talk about it, about the cliques and stuff. And I used to go away with England and the Capello. It was weird walks. It was like you'd go into the canteen at the Grove Hotel and you knew where you couldn't sit. Yeah. It was like Manchester United players, Liverpool, Chelsea, sit there. Then you had the Villas, the Middlesbroughs back then, myself, Upson, Stuart Downing, whatever, Carlton Cole, had to sit on that side. Was that something that Southgate wanted to not have with your group of players?
Yeah, it was key. I think that was the first thing that he wanted to change. I think I remember getting my first call up and I was at Villa with you.
Yeah.
And obviously I played for Tottenham, but I was at Aston Villa getting a call up and I didn't know the lads from Tottenham. I didn't really know them. I sat more with yourself, Youngay, Stuart Downing was in it. Yes. So it was a big click back then, but I think Southgate came in and that was the first thing he knocked on the head, that there's no cliques. Everyone's working for the same thing, which is to make England successful. And I think he did that really well. That's one thing that, people, I've seen a few of the lads, I think Jude said it, that, the vibe wasn't good. I think that was the thing that was the best, was the vibe. You can obviously do the tactics and decision making and substitutions at certain times, but one thing that I can definitely say, from my side, was the vibe in the camp was really good.
Good.
Tim in Helsby says they should have 64 teams and no stupid qualification games. Yeah, Tim, but you know what's going to happen? They're going to have 64 teams and even more pointless qualification games. It's 5:15 at the moment. When we come back, it's match day -1, of course, for Scotland. We'll be talking Scotland when we come back shortly.
On England's Corner on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
play you something, Steve. Didier Mann, the former Germany midfielder, has been on RTE after the game. He was talking about Harry Kane and sort of picked up on a point one or two other people have made about Harry Kane. Let's play you this and see what you make of it.
He's a captain and he's there to score goals in the knockout games. And the jury's out. And I can hear what Jay says, I can hear what Kevin says. I want to see him do it in the last 16 against France, in the last 8 against Brazil. And whether he's capable of doing it, we don't know. He hasn't done it so far. Then again, in Munich, every centre-forward has scored goals. And it doesn't matter whether he scores 35 or 25, they're going to win the league. I'm not sure. I think there's a few centre-forwards in this tournament. I'd probably rather have him a team than him. I'm sitting on the fence for now, but I've got my doubts about him, whether he's the player who's taken England to the World Cup. I think at some stage in a tournament, you need pace. And he simply hasn't got it.
That's Didier Mann over in RTE in Ireland.
You should write to the Daily Star.
It was basically saying he's flat track bully. He's kind of going down the route of.
Did you see he's working for RTE in Dublin? Has he been on the Guinness or something all night or whatever? He must be the first person I've ever heard question Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but I don't see that at all. I mean, look. This fella is world class, and you just have to look at his record, whether he's playing in England, whether he's playing for Spurs, whether he's playing for Bayern Munich. The guy is got a little bit of special quality. He's a wonderful, wonderful finisher, and of course he's got a couple of goals yesterday, which nobody surprised. We're surprised he missed that penalty, the first one, where we're a little bit lucky. Something's gone our way, but you have to say, I think Didi. But look. I disagree with him immensely. I mean, Harry Kane for me is world class player.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad. It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
At 5:20, Thursday, June the 18th. This is World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor and Kyle Walker, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app. Still to come, we'll be joined by our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, live from Dallas. A couple of headlines for you. Real Madrid have agreed a deal to sign Ibrahima Konate on a free transfer when his Liverpool contract expires. Manchester United and Spurs are reported to be leading the chase for the West Ham winger, Crescencio Somerville. Right now, though, let's touch on Jude Bellingham again, shall we, after that brilliant second-half performance from him last night, putting England back in front just after half-time, just when they needed it most. Thomas Tuchel spoke to the media afterwards and was asked about the Real Madrid man.
He loves these pressure games. He loves that brings out the best in him. So that's an easy decision to let him play and to trust him. Also because of the last 16 days, 17 days, how he bought into the idea of team spirit, into the idea of brotherhood, and into the idea of how we want to play football, which is slightly different position than to his position in Real Madrid.
Thomas Tuchel talking about Jude Bellingham. Because of his talent, because of his ability, Kyle, he's often the focus of attention, isn't he? I mean, tell us, I mean, you've been in the same dressing room as him. What's he like as a person?
No, he's good, and I think he carries a lot of weight on his shoulders for such a young boy. I think people probably forget how young he is. Obviously, he's gone on from leaps and bounds from Birmingham City to Dortmund to now playing for, one of, if not the biggest clubs in the world. But I was saying it before, I think Morgan Rogers is a great player. I played with him at City. He's done unbelievable for Villa. But I just think in them moments, Jude Bellingham probably pips him just because of the big game moments, and last night proved that.
Yeah.
How good is he? Because you've been in training with him, you played with him. Because when we watch him, I just see someone who can score left foot, right foot. I see someone who can get box to box, good in the air. Looks like a complete player.
Yeah, I think, he's an all-rounder. He can tackle, he can defend, he can attack, he scores goals. As you just said, left, right foot, he's got an engine on him. Is he a silky number 10 that we're probably used to seeing in the Premier League? Probably not. He's more of a powerhouse, but, in these conditions that they're playing the World Cup in like this, it could work to our advantage with having him, Declan and, Anderson that all have good engines on them and then can get up and down the pitch.
Does it ever get to him, the sort of criticism that he gets, the media attention that he gets?
I think probably it does. I think probably it does some way, but I don't think you can let it get to you. I think when you're a big football player like that with a name that you've got, obviously you're going to hear and you're going to see. People are going to tell you what people are saying, but you have to take that pressure. You're Jude Bellingham. You're Jude Bellingham, and you've got that pressure on your shoulder. You're playing for Real Madrid and also representing England in the number 10 jersey, so you've got to deal with it.
We've seen a few months ago, there were journalists saying that he shouldn't be involved because there was reports that Jude Bellingham makes the older players, they're scared to play because he's so much of a character. And I was like, surely, Walks, you're a senior player. Jude Bellingham, if he's 18, 19, 20, he's not going to affect the senior pros, is he?
No, I don't think it affects you. You try and play to Jude's strengths, and you try and get him on the ball when he wants to get on the ball. Would anyone want to or don't want to play with Jude Bellingham? Well, you clearly don't want England to win, and I think Jude Bellingham in your team is better than Jude Bellingham not being in your team.
Just a word about one of your other ex-teammates, John Stones, started last night. He's not had much football. Came in for a little bit of criticism last night, the partnership between him and Ezri Konsa as centre-backs. Do you think it's just a question of him having more game time, or do you think there might be a temptation to make a change and put Mark Gay back in?
Well, I don't think it would be a surprise if he was to make a change. I think John, for me personally, is a great centre-back. I can't ever doubt that. The only thing that was a question mark over John is the games that he's played. And I think with Konsa doing what he's done with winning, a European title, the only thing that I said last week on the show was that if they was going to get that nod with John and Mark would be because of playing together at club level. Obviously, he went for something completely different because he thought that was going to make England, be better in that department. But I think it's probably the only jury's out is over that, and if he changes it.
Yeah. Do you see a change, Gabs?
I don't see a change. No, I think to bring Stones into the squad ahead of Maguire. Maguire had a very good season. Stones didn't play much, did he? I think was it 10 appearances in the Premier League. I don't know how many of those games he played with Gahey. But then you look at the experience, more than anyone, Kyle, the experience of John Stones, how good he is coming out from the back. I just question when we get to the latter stages and we saw what France done second half and what Brazil have got, look at Morocco, Argentina, will it be more of a test for our centre-halves? I mean, I love Konsa, Villa connection, Gahey, I like Stones, creates. Hard to say anything negative about these players, but when you play the elite teams, is that where we're the weakest in our team? I don't know.
And that's where the question is. I think over the last, 10 games for England, has England come against a good opponent that's going to really cause us problems? I'd say Japan at Wembley is the last one where I can often say, okay, well, it's a decent level of opponent that we've come against. But apart from that, I don't look at anyone that's going to trouble us. But the big question mark is, can John go the full tournament without breaking down or getting an injury? Please God he does, because I think for England it's going to be better with a fit John Stones. But again, I'm still can't make a decision on who I would
off, isn't it?
Yeah, who I would start with, Mark, John and Konsa.
Thanks for the moment, guys. Early game today, Czechia against South Africa. Big game for both of the sides, having lost their opening games, of course.
What team is that, Jeff?
Czechia.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Czech Republic, if you prefer. But Czechia, as it is known these days, thank goodness the hydration break has been and gone. Czechia have the early advantage. Any sign of a South African recovery? Ian Abrahams.
26 gone, Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0. As you rightly say, we've had the hydration break, which, Jeff, I don't think we're going to get very often in Hartlepool. Not really. I mean, they've looked better going forward, South Africa, but the back, they still look like they're really struggling. The goal came after 6 minutes from Sadilek, and they could have been behind inside 50 seconds. Patrick Schick lost the ball in the lights because obviously it's a closed stadium and headed wide. Czech Republic still look the better side here. Remember, the team that loses, if a team does lose here, probably are going to be going home from this World Cup. It's live on talkSPORT 2, Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0.
Game Day live update on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Let me tell you, hydration breaks in Hartlepool last for about 4 hours, from 7 to 11, and are backed by the local brewery Cameron's. That was all thanks to Burger King. Right, still to come, we'll be discussing whether Cristiano Ronaldo should be playing for Portugal. But first, it's time for No Googling. I know the answer to this one. Are we doing this again? This is just for you, Carl. I think it is. We want to know, before last night, when was the last time England beat a top 15 side of the world rankings of the World Cup, and who did they beat? We did it an hour ago, so we know the answer. You don't need to Google it. Any ideas? You got no idea.
Look at me, help me, mate.
Help me, Gabby.
Look at that black wall there, mate.
Okay. Look, I'll tell you what. Let's give you it was Argentina in 2000.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that, yeah. I thought it was.
Yeah, well, here's another one. I'm sure you're going to know this one. We want to know which country has finished third at the World Cup the most times. Which country has finished third at the World Cup the most times? We'll give you the answer when we come back in a couple of minutes. 5:28.
You mentioned Perisic. They've got players in their side, Modric. You know, they're the wrong side of 35, right? These players have been in their team for a long, long time. And we're not struggling, but the first 45, I'm watching it thinking, how is this happening again?
But also, you've got to think, right? I get what you're saying, but also, there's going to be a few nerves kicking about.
Yeah.
Right? These guys, as you said there, have been around for such a long time, so they just understand, they're comfortable where they are. Modric, Perisic, these guys, they just know what it takes to get to that to get to that level. But it's I think there's a lot of boxes that Thomas Tuchel would have ticked. I thought the team selection he got wrong. But in my personal,
who do you get wrong?
I would have started Rashford.
Yeah, me too.
And Mark Gahey has to play. He has to play.
Talk about what you're saying outside about the balance of the centre half.
Because John Stones, he naturally plays on the right hand side, right? And it's Maguire that usually plays on the left when it was those two. When you move John Stones out to the left, naturally he doesn't go that way to Nico O'Reilly, which is why he barely touched the ball. He couldn't go that way.
And Anthony Gordon hardly received the ball in the first
Exactly.
half.
Mark Gahey naturally plays on the left side. So he's used to receiving the ball from the right-hand side and going out to the left. But that just wasn't there, which is why we hardly saw anything down that left-hand side. But yeah, I would have started Mark Gahey and I would have started Rashford for sure. They would have been my first two on the not on the team sheet, but they're the two that I would have started.
So you would have started with Rashford on the left. What about the other side? Would you have started with Noni?
Yeah, probably, because Saka, I'm not sure. I don't know how fit Saka is.
Okay. Looked good when he come on, though.
Looked really good. Looked like hungry.
Yeah.
But that's a good problem you've got. But at the end of the day, the quality shone through second half. Even though there were moments towards the end of the second half, before Rashford scored, I was thinking, oh my goodness, they're on top again. They're starting to move the ball. They're getting into their rhythm. Their substitutions made a big difference. But then Rashford comes on and just does what he does.
Yeah.
The sharp turn, the finish.
I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a problem that the first 45 were a bit whiffy because you
look at France.
I was just about to say, look at France. I mean, they had a rocket up their backside. They're a completely different side in the second half.
Mbappe. Told you about him, didn't I? I said, how often do I sit you
Write his name down. He's going to be a player.
I told you that, Mbappe.
Yeah.
World Cups, he's different.
We
Now, who'd have thought the plan to get the best from your greatest ever goal scorer might help England get their straps?
I commentated on Argentina 2 nights ago, and everything those other 10 players do is to get the best out of Lionel Messi. And I'm starting to see that with England. I'm starting to see them work for our talisman, work for Harry Kane.
That's Andros Townsend, ex-England and Kane's former club teammate, telling talkSPORT he's encouraged by Thomas Tuchel getting runners around the striker. But defensively, there remain questions after the 4-2 win over Croatia. Here's Steve Bruce on Stones and Konsa as a pairing.
As a team, I think we can defend better. It's not just picking on 2 individuals like your centre-backs.
Yeah.
They may need a bit of protection.
Remember, you can hear England's second World Cup game live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night. That's against Ghana. Meanwhile, we'll bring you Scotland-Morocco live at 11 tomorrow night. The former Scotland midfielder Barry Bannon's told us, on reflection, the win over Haiti's become a better result as the tournament's gone on.
Looking at all the other results that have happened and the shocks that have happened so far, you can look back at that result now and be positive about it.
We'll be hearing from Steve Clarke later today. And Ben Stokes, not currently with the England cricket team, will play for Durham in the county championship starting tomorrow. Remember, we'll have live updates of England's second test against New Zealand throughout.
At 7:34, Thursday, June the 18th, you're listening to World Cup Game Day on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor and Kyle Walker. A little later, we'll find out what the summer looks like for Kyle Walker at Burnley. But a few moments ago, we brought you the second of our no Googling questions this evening. We asked which country has finished third at the World Cup the most times. And the answer to that was Germany, with 4 third-placed finishes. I'll tell you what, Gabby, I think they'd take a third-place finish all day long, wouldn't they, this time around?
With Germany, yes. Good win in the first game, but I don't think they've got enough, do you?
Did you see the first game again?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought, it's a fantastic score in the end. 7-1's a great score. First 35 minutes or looked so vulnerable defensively.
Yeah, I think, obviously, like Gabby just said there, they probably not just got that cutting edge to go the whole way, but as you say, they'll probably take third now, definitely move forward from, the last couple of tournaments.
He's still going, isn't he, Sane?
Yeah.
Still playing.
Yeah.
How good was he on his day?
He was so quick. He was so quick. Yeah, he just glided along the floor, and he had a great connection with David Silva. So he was David's legs. But when you've got him running, across and for them cutbacks for Sergio, it was a.
And are you flying past him as well?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, look, they made a great start, certainly on paper at least, 7-1, but they're not for me, not this time round. England's cricketers in action in the second test against New Zealand. New Zealand posting 3-9-1 in their first innings. Let's see how England's reply is going. At the Oval, Sam Ellard. Hi, Sam.
Ready? Hi, Jeff. Big moment in this game. New Zealand think they've got Joe Root. He has been given out on field. That would have England 4 down, but Joe Root has reviewed it. Hit on the pad by Matt Henry. Root on 46 or 56 balls. He's batted beautifully. Joe Root has reviewed. We're waiting for DRS. For me, it maybe looked a little high, but no, it's not. It's hitting. Big moment. New Zealand cheer. They celebrate. Joe Root on the back foot, looking to defend from Matt Henry. A little bit of movement back into the right-hander. Hits them on the pad, given out on field. And to be fair, it was a really good call by the umpire. Root did review it. The ball was crashing into the stumps, though. So England have lost 2 wickets in in relatively quick succession. Emilio Gay looked really good, getting to 53, his second Test match 50 in the same amount of matches. He looks really good, really composed at the top of the order. And now New Zealand have Joe Root. He's gone for 46. Harry Brook unbeaten on 18. It didn't take him too long to play. An outrageous shot, back of a length ball outside off. Brook giving himself room and carving it over point. He was walking away as he played the stroke. An unbelievable shot. But Joe Root goes for 46. England in not a bother, but still plenty of work to do after bowling New Zealand out for 391. England 170 for 4, trailing by 221 runs.
Yeah, big wicket as far as New Zealand are concerned. I looked at that England Test team, and I thought I was sort of looking at the Lions side or something. You know, James Root, Jordan Cox, Matt Fisher, Sonny Baker. All pretty unfamiliar names to me. But there we are. It's still pretty evenly balanced, isn't it? England 4 down at the moment. Just a question from Harvey, who's texting and said, enjoying the discussion, chaps. Is there scope for England to play 3 at the back with Conser, Gahey and Stones? What do you think, Carl?
I think you play 3 at the back, you obviously lose one up top, and we need goals. We need goals. We need to make sure that we're a threat and people are worried about us going forward. I think with the back 4 that they had last night, or whatever back 4 he's going to make, I think he can make some adjustments and he can sharpen it up. It's just about fine level of concentration there, and then hopefully they'll be all right.
Was it the Euros 2021 where you played over 3?
Yeah.
I remember going to the games at Wembley. You were playing as a sweeper, weren't you? You were flying that covering the centre halves. Do you need that sometimes, though, if you want to play that formation and you need that pace in the back? Is that why you were on that right of a 3?
Yeah, I think you need a little bit of pace at the back, but I always looked at them games, and when you go into the later stage of the tournaments against the bigger teams, okay, maybe play a 3 at the back, but you need the personnel. You know, if you play 3 flat centre-backs, you're not really going to advance the ball forward. I think, you know, when I was playing there with Gareth, I had Trippier on the right of me, and, you know, I kind of shoved him up, and I was still playing as a right back, but he was a little bit higher up the field. So it's about the personnel. I think if you're going to do it, it needs to be attacking minded rather than defensive minded.
Yeah, good question there, Harvey. Thanks very much indeed for that. Now, DR Congo picked up their first ever World Cup point and their first ever World Cup goal, as it happens, with a 1-1 draw against Portugal last night. After the game, talkSPORT's Andy Brassel spoke to their goal scorer, Johan Wisser.
Tell us about your goal. It must have been an emotional moment.
Yeah, of course. I didn't realize at the moment what happened, but so yeah, I'm really happy with the header, and this draw it means a lot for us.
And I guess that first season at Newcastle, you've been waiting for this move for so long. It happened, then you get the injury on international duty, so it's a little bit frustrating. So, but having missed a lot of the season, do you feel like quite fresh still?
Now, I'm quite. You know, it's been difficult for me at Newcastle because when you want to do something great, and after you get injured, you want to catch the train, but I never catch the train.
You never catch the train. Look, he's had a difficult time at Newcastle. Is an absolute understatement, isn't it? Do you think that a successful World Cup, I mean, scoring at a World Cup for one of the lesser lights is a success in itself. Could that kickstart his Newcastle career?
I hope so. And I think Newcastle fans, Eddie Howe, will hope so, because he was desperate to leave Brentford, wasn't he? He was forcing to move through, and against the injury, and then when he played, it ended up being Asula, wasn't it, and Voltamada that was getting game time in front of him. But hopefully, the way he played last night, he looked sharp, quick, aggressive, took his goal well. Hopefully Newcastle have him back next season, flying.
Just wonder whether Newcastle might be
heading to the shops to buy a replacement for him already.
They could do, yeah, but when you perform at a World Cup like this, I mean, Carl can say it himself. The shop window as well opens up and make Newcastle look at him and say, okay, you know what, maybe last season injuries, needed a good summer in this tournament, and he comes back a better player.
It's a dangerous shop window, though, isn't it? Because time and again we've seen players be bought on the back of World Cups and then not be able to cut it in the Premier League.
Yeah, it is. It is, I think. But you go there as a player and you think, if I have a good World Cup here, I can obviously get a move to a bigger club than what I'm at. I think for him, he needs to obviously just continue what he's doing. Injuries happen in football, and he wouldn't have wanted that. But the most important thing now is have a good World Cup, come back to Newcastle ready to go, and hopefully he can right the wrongs right.
Yeah. Been a big couple of days, hasn't it, for the big names at this World Cup. Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, Harry Kane, all getting a couple of goals apiece in their opening games. And, of course, Lionel Messi scoring a hat-trick for Argentina against Algeria. And it's just what the World Cup needs, isn't it, Carl? The big names to come to the big stage and perform. It makes the whole competition appeal so much more.
Yeah, of course. And, big players step up at big moments, and the names that you've just mentioned there, that's what they're meant to do. They're meant to step up and carry their team across the line. I've had the pleasure of playing against probably all of them, and at any given moment they can always step up. So
who was the best of them then? Come on, who's your opinion on who was the best of them?
No, Messi by far. Messi by far. I think what he does with a football it's scary. It shouldn't really happen, and I think people seem to write him off all the time. Or he's getting a little bit too old. This is probably going to be his last World Cup, but to do what he's done, and if they return the World Cup, what a dream that'll be for him to go out with. I hope he don't, because I hope England win. But for what that man has done in football, it's truly remarkable.
What was that feeling for you, though? Because I've seen you against Vinny Jr. and you just marked him out of the game. What's that feeling like when you're that quick, strong, that Vinny Jr., whoever it is, he's up against you, you're going to match them? And even when you played against Mbappe, was that a player that you thought, oh, it's Mbappe, or was you like, bring it?
No, I think you have to back yourself. I think when you're just as quick as them, it's kind of like, well, come on, I want to put myself to the test. I enjoy playing in all the games, even with the likes of Neymar when I played against PSG with him. He's not the quickest, but I think as a skillful and how he manipulates the ball is probably the best I've ever seen. So you come against these players and you want to be a professional footballer to come against the best. So I always relish the opportunity, but probably
start seeing wingers swap over.
Yeah. When they go over the other side, you kind of think you've done your job and you think, okay, I can take a breather for 5.
Then you swap as well.
Yeah. I mean, Josh has just texted and said, how would Kai feel playing against the current Portugal team with Ronaldo starting? Would you relish that?
I think obviously everyone's talking about it now, that he's getting a little bit too old and he's probably not got the powers that he had from way back when. And I'm probably not going to come here and start criticising or having a comment on Cristiano Ronaldo and playing football, because he's earned the right to do what he wants, I believe. Obviously, he want Portugal to win, and he want Portugal to win a World Cup while he's in the team. So I can definitely assure you, as a footballer, he's definitely trying his best, but sometimes you just have an off game.
Yeah. Yes. Just before you arrived in the studio, we're asking who was the quicker, you or Gabby. We'll be finding out the official answer in a couple of minutes' time, right here on World Cup Game Day Live.
We were just chatting off air about Terry Venables and Euro 96. You're getting Euro 96 vibes already.
Well, I'm getting England-Holland Euro 96 vibes, 100%, because, I was very fortunate enough to know Terry, as I'm sure you two did. And, I asked him about that game. We used to do a show together on Saturdays on the radio about football. And, he said, I just threw 7 forwards on. Everybody could play in attack. Even the sort of back four, we were very sort of front-footed thinking. And he said, don't worry about how many goals they're going to score. Just score more goals than them. And then you have them on the back foot and they can't get out of their own half anyway. Yeah. And you were there for England-Holland at Wembley Stadium. I was there when the scoreboard said England 4, Holland 0. I mean, they did score a goal, but we did see 4-0 for a while. And last night was very, very reminiscent of that, and they talk about total football. That was as close as we got. And, I'm fascinated by managers and what they say and what makes the difference between an Alex Ferguson and an Arsene Wenger and a Thomas Tuchel compared to the others. Ancelotti, I know you're a big fan of, and he's been on the show. Yeah. And it's great, isn't it, what Harry... Because Harry... The thing about Tuchel is he's just saying what he thinks. Even right before the game, he's saying, well, we're going to do this because they're going to do that. And if they're watching, they know what he's going to do. But he's so organised in a way that's sort of, quite off-putting for the opposition, I would imagine. And then Harry Kane does a Thomas Tuchel after the match because he tells you exactly what Tuchel told them at half-time, which was basically, lads, I thought we had a deal here. You're just you're gonna play like you don't care, like you're back in the playground, And in the first half, you didn't do that, boys. We had an agreement. Can we just go out and do that? And they all went, oh yeah, we remember. And they just went out, and it was just a different game. And I was, as you can hear, I was very excited about it. We all were very excited about it. And this morning, there's this whole sense of relief and release, and now we're looking forward to next week and Tuesday, and it's...
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad. It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good afternoon, 5:49, Thursday, June the 18th. You're listening to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor and Kyle Walker, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Still to come, we'll be asking if FIFA could add even more teams to the next World Cup. Let's head back to the cricket at the Oval. England in trouble. Sam Ellard.
From 142 for 2 to 177 for 5. A great half an hour for New Zealand, a bad half an hour for England. Matt Henry got Joe Root LBW for 46. He's now got Harry Brook LBW for 24. He's bowling stumps to stumps, attacking the wicket. It's a very, very similar dismissal. A touch of movement back into Harry Brook, hit him on the pad. Absolutely plumb LBW. Those 3 wickets in quick succession. Gave for 53, Root for 46, Brook for 24. The 2 batters out the crease are 2 debutantes. James Root has got 1 run to his name. Jordan Cox has only faced 2 balls yet to go off the mark, and the 2 boys on debut have got a lot of work to do for England. England 177 for 5, trailing New Zealand by 214 runs.
Sam, thanks so much. Half time over on talkSPORT 2, Czechia against South Africa. Ian Abrahams.
Half time in Atlanta is Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0. Sadilek's goal on 6 minutes separates the 2 sides. A calm finish 8 yards out with his left foot, 1-on-1 with Williams, the goalkeeper, after the ball had been pulled back from the byline. One little pass for Sadilek, and he was all alone inside the penalty area. After that, Czech Republic did very little. South Africa had a lot of the ball. They did very little. One cross at the end of the half was fumbled by the goalkeeper for the Czech Republic, but South Africa's shot was blocked. Mokoena has been booked, so he's out of the South Africa game. And one of the best players modern day never to play in a World Cup, George Weah, is watching on. I think he's seen better first halves of football, to be honest with you. In Atlanta, where the second half will be live on talkSPORT 2, it's Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0.
Game Day live update on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction. Delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Let's head off to Shinnecock Hills. First round of the US Open is well underway. If I was there's one grouping I'd certainly be following. Oberg, Fleetwood and McIlroy. What a threesome that is. How are they doing so far? Gabby Partington.
Yeah, I'd be following them as well. It is a tough day out there, one of the toughest venues in US Open history, Jeff. Look, Shinnecock Hills has now seen 654 players tee up in US Opens, and only 3 have finished the week under par. And that pretty much says it all about this place. The setup, as we spoke about a little bit earlier, has eased slightly from 2018. They've got wider fairways, greens not quite as fast, but factor in the wind off the coast and that thick, punishing rough, and it is still a brutal, brutal test. Look, only 6 players under par so far in round 1, and they all, funnily enough, share the lead. Sam Burns, Sam Stevens, Ben James, Christopher Reitan, Patrick Reed, and of course you mentioned Sweden's Ludvig Oberg, who now begins his second 9, and it's actually taken him almost 3 hours for his front 9 to be completed, so it's not quick out there. Playing partners McIlroy and Fleetwood, a shot back, and this place will only get more tough as the day goes on.
Thanks, Gabby. talkSPORT's Gabby Partington there. Now, earlier in the show, we asked the all-important question. Who was faster in their pomp? Kyle Walker or Gabby Agbonlahor? Well, talkSPORT's Anil Kandala was at the talkSPORT fan zone at Villa Park last night for England against Croatia, and he put that question to some of the fans in attendance.
It's a tough call, but I'd go for Gabby. He was awesome, and no defender wants anybody with that pace running at them. So I'd go for Gabby. I would.
Quicker than Kyle Walker?
I think so. Yeah, I do. And I'm sure Gabby would agree with me.
Gabby. Well, he used to dart across the field, didn't he? I think he's better than Kyle, to be honest.
Well, we had Kyle on loan for us for many years ago, and he was quick, but Gabby was quicker.
And there you go. It might be a little bit unfair because Gabby Agbonlahor is in that building behind me, but it seems that Gabby's got the vote.
Right, the rest of the world.
He actually spoke to about 100 people who were there, but we already decided to show 3, okay?
I clipped that up for them.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though? When I think about Kyle, when I go back to that game, Kyle, of like, I think it might be Germany at Wembley, and you was right side of the 3, but like you was all the way in the right back position, and I was at the game, mate, and you come sprinting across, mate. Someone was through on goal. I can't remember who it was. Muller. It was Muller, yeah. I'm like, where has this guy come from? And you've done that for the last 15, 16 years, mate. Your centre-half pairings with England and Manchester City must have been looking at you thinking like, okay, maybe I can leave a bit of space in behind, because you would always just come out of nowhere and cover.
Yeah, I think that was what my game was based on. You know, I probably didn't create that much going forward with assists and stuff. I chipped in with a few, but not as much as probably what I should have done. So my main game when I got a little bit older was to make sure I can cover the back.
Incredible, man.
Here's a great suggestion. Jill's a regular contributor. She says, why not get both of them in the car park? Said, my money's on Kyle.
Just about, yeah.
You know football.
I'll have to kick him first.
Obviously, here we are in June then, Kyle, so I'm guessing you're in the middle of your summer break. When do you get back into training?
No, I go back at the end of the month. Obviously, with Burnley, that's when the pre-season starts. So I have done a little bit of running. Tell the fitness coach I've done loads now. I've done loads of running. I've done a little bit of running, but I think for me it's about resting the head. You know, it's about resting the mind. It was a long season, a difficult season last year for us for Burnley, but hopefully we can put it right next year and be back up into the Premier League.
How are you feeling yourself? Because, like I said to you off air, look at Ashley Young, just retired at 40. Are you taking it year by year, see how you feel, see if you're still enjoying it, how fit you are?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what you have to do when you get to, my age of 36 now is I've got a contract at Burnley. I'm going to honour that contract at Burnley. And then we'll see year by year. Obviously, I need to make sure that I'm performing to obviously keep getting the contracts. And I think that's what Young has done really well. Yeah, he's just kept performing, kept going down the years, and then all of a sudden he's ended up at Ipswich and he's retired and finally thought that was a time to go out. But as soon as my head tells me I've had enough, then that's when I'll step away.
See, before you arrived, we just touched on that moment in the Arsenal-Burnley game at the end of last season.
Martinelli.
Where you outpaced Gabriel Martinelli, and I'm sure I saw a smile on your face at the end of that.
I was trying to help City out as well with winning the league, so Martinelli says I'm still quick. I can remember him saying to me something after the game, saying, I don't know how you're still running this quick. But, that's what my game's been based on, my speed and my strength, going forward and coming back as well.
Yeah,
I think when he does retire and he starts playing with like some of the dads in 10 years' time, it's going to be not fair, is it? He's still going to be the same quick as he is now, aren't you?
I'll try to be. I might put on a few more pounds, but I'll be all right.
It happens, mate. You can tell.
Quick question from Mark for both of you. He says, Carl and Gabby, he said, when your kids were at school, were you both hated in the dad's race?
Oh, I've never done it. Have you?
I've done it once,
Yeah.
And
how have you done that?
I wasn't taking it easy, mate.
No, you was going full
way, mate. Full pelt. Now, we play six-a-sides now, mate, and we're kicking people. We're going for it. Stilian Petrov screaming at his own kids that plays with him.
No,
anything you do, you take it serious. Yeah.
Look, as soon as you retire, Carl, the race is on in the car park. You against Gabby.
No way
about that.
Both hamstrings will be on the floor for me.
Half-time in the early game in the World Cup today, remember, Czechia leads South Africa by 1-0. It's 2 minutes away from 6 o'clock. This is World Cup Game Day Live.
Simon, from Southgate to Tuchel, was this the front-footed difference that you have been wishing?
Oh, definitely. I mean, for a number of reasons, for the reasons that Brad's laid out in terms of the substitutions, from the manner in which this is rock and roll football. This is what we saw with Jurgen Klopp in the second half. Interesting that Tuchel needs to have a reinforcement at half-time, because you would have assumed that that conversation had happened before the game and that they were told to get on the front foot before the game. And England looked quite nervous when they started, and they weren't, for the first 5 or 10 minutes, I thought they weren't really at it. I think the performance in the second half, I was sitting next to Brad, and he was saying to me, and I think I'm right in quoting him, is that this is the best attacking performance that we've seen in the World Cup so far, in terms of the way that they put it upon the Croatians. Whatever we may have created in the media about how old this Croatian team is, Troy was saying off air that the average age of the Croatians is 28 and a half, whereas our team is 27. We've been walking around under the impression this is a dad's army, just because you've got Luka Modric. So they're not mugs. I think we could have done better with the goals, but notwithstanding that, whatever lessons we think we need to learn defensively, Tuchel will learn them and they'll make some adjustments. But offensively, if you look at that performance, that is as good as you want an England side to play. It's as good as an England side has played on the front foot for a very, very long time. And you look at it, and 4-2 flatters the Croatians to some extent, because England could have had 6 in the second half. So I think it's a great marker. It's a great start to the tournament. It's what the public will want to see. Tuchel is hiding his light behind a bushel, because I would imagine he was very strong in the dressing room at half-time to wake a few people up, because you saw it, they came out of the traps like men possessed.
Yeah.
They scored the perfect cure to a goal just before half-time is a goal directly after half-time. And that's exactly what England got.
I also thought as well, sorry, I know you've got to go to break.
No problem.
But now you see so many managers say buzzwords.
Yeah.
And he's talking about being aggressive, being on the front foot. He actually means it, doesn't he? You get that sense of, when he say we're on the front foot and be brave, if we make this mistake, it's on me. It's not on you, lads. So I think when a manager's that aggressive in what he says and believes it, it's easier for the players there, because ultimately, if we fail, we've all failed, and he's not going to throw me under the bus.
We all know it. That moment when France were reduced to 10 men in the 2006 final. But Zinedine Zidane's World Cup story was so much more than those antics in Berlin. Despite a meteoric rise to prominence in the early 90s, Zidane wouldn't really start his World Cup career until 1998. See, France didn't even qualify for '94, so they had some making up to do on home soil. Ahead of the tournament, Zidane was flying. Back-to-back Serie A titles and Champions League finals with Juventus, but things didn't exactly go to plan. In France's second group game, he was shown one of these. I mean, we were so busy getting angry at Bex for his red, we didn't even realise Zidane was getting properly dug out in France for the 12 days before. The French public demanded he be kicked out of the squad and sent home, but manager Aimé Jacquet held firm and brought him back 2 games later. After his return, he'd start every game until the final, where he was quite simply brilliant. He scored not once, but twice, and this was the moment he'd been waiting for. There was national jubilation, and all was forgiven. He was even rewarded with a Ballon d'Or to cap off a near-perfect year. France won the Euros 2 years later and so were red-hot favourites at the 2002 World Cup. But the table will tell you things did not go to plan. Now, come 2006, France, now captained by Zidane, are one of the favourites again, but they made hard work of it. They won just 1 game and finished second in their group, which meant they had to beat Spain, Brazil and Portugal en route to the final. Then, the moment we all remember. Zinedine, just leave it. Walk away. Zinedine, no! And that meant he became only the second player in history to be sent off twice in World Cups. France lost, but he still won the Golden Ball. As you can see, he was thrilled. Or furious. Zidane never played again, but across 3 tournaments his story had everything. Disgrace, glory, infamy. We don't like our heroes clean anyway, do we?
Good morning, 4 minutes, good morning. There we go. Wrong time of day. You might do it at some stage, Gabby. Good afternoon, 4 minutes past 6. We're normally just starting at this time in the morning, aren't we? You're listening to World Cup Game Day on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor and Kyle Walker. By the way, just hearing about that little mini collapse from England in the test, 186 for 5. James Rew is at the crease now. He's debuted his first-class batting average, going in at 7 for England, by the way. His first-class batting average is 8.25.
Not bad,
so
is
we
it?
may be back to Sam Ellard pretty shortly. Actually, he's already got 9, so he's doing better than average, shall we say, at the moment. Still to come, by the way, on the show, we'll be joined by our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, live from Dallas. Second half just about to get underway, by the way, in the game between Czechia and South Africa. Czechia lead by a goal, so all teams just emerging for the second half. But right now, another big night of World Cup action across the talkSPORT network coming.
With a long throw, and there's the header in, and the long throw has worked. The set piece pays off again. Ladislav Krejci, who heads home for Czechia.
3 red cards. Mexico are the first team to get points on the board. Mexico 2, South Africa 0.
And it's rolled in by Mbalo into the bottom corner. Does that open the floodgate? They've done it. They've got a point. Yunan Lopetegui works the oracle for the Qataris. They've been dominated by Switzerland all night.
Free kick into the penalty area, glanced on and in. And Bosnia have the lead. Jovo Lukic. And to try and come forward now. Larin with a shot and he scored. Kyle Larin.
Cross comes in. I don't believe it. They have equalised. It's 1-1. The Qatari players have earned their first ever World Cup point.
Yeah, the World Cup action continues live across the talkSPORT network tonight. Right now over on talkSPORT 2, you can hear the second half of the Czech Republic against South Africa. Going to be a great second half. I'm convinced of that. At the moment, Czechia lead by a 0-0. Then you can hear Switzerland against Bosnia at 8 here on talkSPORT. Canada against Qatar is over on talkSPORT 2 at 11, and then at 2 a.m. talkSPORT brings you Mexico against South Korea. And the easiest way, of course, to stay across everything, simply by downloading the talkSPORT app. Now, this year, of course, first time there have been 48 teams in a World Cup. Already there are rumours that the 2030 World Cup could expand even further, possibly to 64 nations. In theory, that could mean top 2 from each group go straight through to the last 32, rather than some third-place teams progressing. If I was a gambling man, I would say that won't happen. That if there were 64 teams, they would get through to the last 32, and then there'd be another group to go through. So there are more and more games. Kyle, what have you made of the 48-team World Cup so far?
So far, so good, I'd say. But I think if you start expanding, like I said before, to more teams, I just think the standard of play, obviously, players are already playing a lot of games already as it is. And to add more teams into that mix is just going to mean more games and probably less standard of football. Yeah. I suppose in some way, Gabby, the performances of some of the lesser sides, they've justified the expansion, haven't they? I mean, Cape Verde and Congo and Qatar have all done really well in their opening games.
Yeah, because I think when you're in the World Cup, like I said earlier, Carl, you can come in on this as well. These teams, they want to do their countries proud. Even Curacao, getting a goal back, getting it back to 1-1. 180,000 people in Curacao. Like, amazing what they've done for their people back at home. And it's that chant, isn't it? Jordan done well as well, Qatar. It's like you want to impress on the big stage, don't you?
Yeah, I think obviously you go through the qualifiers and it means so much to their country to finally get there to the World Cup. It's the biggest stage in the world. So they want to do them proud and, so far so good they have done. But I think if you start expanding it to more teams than that, obviously the likes of Italy and stuff like that will probably come into the fold, but you're going to get lesser nations that are probably going to just cause more chaos.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, one of the issues, obviously, is that basically you win one group game, you're probably through to the next stage. So there are going to be a number of dead rubbers, aren't there?
You said that about the Champions League, didn't you remember? The early stages, there's no jeopardy on the games. No jeopardy. You can afford to lose.
I mean, there's more jeopardy. Obviously, there is jeopardy in these games. Yeah. Certainly initially, but there'll be a lot of the games, a lot of your third games in these groups, which won't matter.
And a lot of teams will rest players. Brazil will if they are through. I think we will, won't we? England will rest a lot of players. Would you see Harry Kane starting if we win our first 2 games in the third game against Panama?
Would that mean a bigger squad as well? Because more games.
Yeah,
so could there be more players being allowed to go to the World Cup because obviously you play more games and it's more minutes in the legs. So I think everything's probably up for consideration if there was to be more teams in there.
Yeah. A couple of topics I wanted to mention. We discussed this off the air for a moment too. Jordan Pickford seems to be coming in for some flack over his performance. And obviously we saw the headlines, Thomas Tuchel losing his temper with him and so on and so forth. Does it surprise you, Kyle, that Jordan, who's I think by and large been brilliant for England over the years, certainly never let them down anywhere, are you surprised that he's a sort of divisive character?
I think Jordan's a little bit like Marmite. Either you love him or hate him, but one thing that you can never do or never say is that Jordan's not performed for England. I'll go back to Russia in saving the penalty that made us win the first penalty shootout in England's history. And then you go just now to being World Cup semi-final in that year, Euros finalist twice. We've done it all with Pickford, so as much as, people might get a little bit frustrated with him, it's his character and that's what he does on the pitch. And sometimes you have to let keepers do what they need to do.
What's it like, though, when I've seen in multiple years, centre-halves, full-backs, whenever they make one little half a mistake and he comes to the rescue, he screams, he's shouting. I know what you would do as a player, I know what I would do, but can that put some players off, who might be a bit anxious, a bit nervous during games?
Yeah, I mean, I played with him for a number of years. Obviously, when Jordan came into the fold, I was already in the England picture. Played with Harty for a number of years, and two completely different characters. Some people like it, some people don't. I think if I was like Nico O'Reilly and I'm looking at Jordan Pickford running out of me as my first tournament, can that be a little bit daunting? So Jordan probably has to handle himself a little bit better in certain situations and be the calm one at the back, the most experienced one at the back to lead them from there. But if that gets Pickford going, and I know it does, and he saves penalties for England, then I'll let him do what he wants, really.
Yeah.
Some of his passing as well from the back. I know the little ones he can take a bit casual, but when someone makes a run, you can find him, can't he?
Yeah, I mean,
got a hell of a left foot, hasn't he?
Yeah, you look at Everton. I don't think Everton play a lot out from the back, so that's what he's used to. Obviously, he's coming into the fold now with England, where Thomas is trying to get him to build up from the back, and it's a completely different way that he's used to playing week in, week out at Everton. But when you've got that long ball and you've got Anthony Gordon, Marcus Rashford, Noni Madueke running off you, he can find that pass, definitely.
Is he the best English goalkeeper?
I think so far, yeah. I think Trafford's a great goalkeeper. Obviously, I worked with him a little bit at Burnley, but also at Manchester City. Dean Henderson's had a great year for Crystal Palace in winning what they've won. And Steele is obviously there being the third choice over the fourth choice goalkeeper, but he's still pecking on the door. So we'll see come after this tournament, I think.
You just mentioned a player there that I love. It was at Aston Villa a couple of seasons ago, Marcus Rashford. You played with him and against him many times. How good is he? And are you surprised that Barcelona haven't paid the 30 million for him?
Yeah, and I'll speak very open and honestly. I think Marcus is, there's not much difference between Marcus and Anthony Gordon. You've obviously gone and paid 68 million or 70 million pounds for Anthony Gordon when you could have got Marcus Rashford for, I'm guessing, a lot cheaper. But that's the route that they've decided to go down. For me, when Marcus is on fire and, speaking to some of the lads now, he's saying what he's doing in training and everything like that is incredible. I know Marcus, better than most because I played against him, a lot of times for Manchester United. But when he's firing on all cylinders, he's a joy to watch and a joy to play with.
Do you think we'll see him back in the Premier League?
Who knows? Obviously now Michael Carrick's the manager there. It's kind of a fresh start and a clean slate. So Marcus needs to go into the next season. He needs to have a good World Cup. That's first.
Everything, hasn't he?
Yeah, he can do everything. Left foot, dribbling,
bullet of a shot.
Yeah, he's got everything. But it's down to Marcus and what he wants to do.
Big boys have done pretty well so far in this World Cup. Looking at the starts, best starts: France in the second half, Argentina, England, Germany with their seventh against Curacao, Sweden putting 5 past Tunisia, Norway 4, Iraq 1, and they look pretty decent as well. Just wanted a quick word though about one of the host nations, and that is the USA beating Paraguay by 4-1. And I saw Maurizio Pochettino saying, "We are dreaming without limits."
Oof.
How far do you think the USA might go under one of your old bosses?
Listen, they've got the home nation behind them. They're going to be very passionate fans, which they are, and sometimes that 12th man can carry you through things. I've played with Christian Pulisic, obviously with there's certain players that can make moments out of nothing.
Balogun scored 2, didn't he? Reina.
But
very good as well.
They need to make sure. I think it's a team effort. It's a team effort there, and they need to make sure that everyone's singing on the same hymn sheet to get them through
They've got some
this.
good players as well. Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams. But imagine America winning the World Cup. I want to hear the end of it. Yeah. It would be soccer then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be soccer. No, it's still
That'd be
football.
unbearable, mate, if they won it.
Yeah, always be football.
Oh, please, God, no.
Yeah, but look, I'm a big Pochettino fan,
Yes.
so I mean, if it was for him, I could bear it. Just being put right. Look, I looked online and got this stat from from somebody who's doing online coverage of the England game. And said, did you just see James Rew as a first-class average of only 8? I said 8.5. It's over 40. And he said at 22, the only people with more first-class age at the same age are Tendulkar and Bradman. And he's not even the best in his family. That's Tom in Bristol. So if I got that wrong, Tom, I'm pointing the finger elsewhere, OK? But thank you for putting me right. 6:15. We're taking your calls, by the way. Would you like to see a 64-team World Cup? Do England need to make any changes to their second game? Do you want to see a change between the sticks? 03717 22 3344.
Neil, yesterday we had another French legend in the studio in Emmanuel Petit, and I asked him, no, in fact, I didn't even ask him, he just offered it to us. He said that he thinks Mbappe is more important than Henry was to France. Who do you put above the other on that list? Who's a better player? Who's more important?
I think Mbappe is the main man. He's the guy for France, and actually he's had some tough time at Madrid this season, but with France, he's always there and he's always playing well. And I think when you look at the stats he scored, I think he's got already like 14 World Cup goals, yes. 58 goals for France. So he's the top scorer of all time. I've backed him from the start, and I believe he's got a big desire to prove like all the people wrong after his tough season, I'd say, at Madrid.
I remember as a kid growing up watching France, you had the great Michel Platini playing, who I think is possibly the best French player of all time. Is that how you guys see it over in France? Who is number one on your list?
It's hard to say because I feel like most of the time great players are being recognized more when they retire. And I think that's kind of what happened with Mbappe when, you know, he was playing for Paris. Like he was criticized a lot, but then we left him, and you know the League One in France is not the same with or without Mbappe, and I think that will happen to him. And I believe we've never had a player coming from very young age, like doing the things that he's done already. He's one of the World Cup. He scored so many goals. And so I think he will be number one on the list for sure, but that will probably happen at the end of his career.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad. It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
At 6:20, you're listening to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Kyle Walker. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app. And Gabby, you've opened a can of worms with your comments saying the Americans would be unbearable if they won the World Cup.
Oh, so I didn't mean it. I love Vegas. I love Miami.
No.
I love New York.
Kerry says Gabby just said the USA would be unbearable. No irony there coming from an Englishman. And the reaction of talkSPORT to England winning one game. And Ross in Telford said, believe me, Gabby, the worst outcome for the world will be if your lot won. Every English supporter now acts like an Arsenal supporter.
Oh, God. I wonder where those fans are from.
Ross, we wouldn't say a word. We really wouldn't. And by the way...
We love America.
Yeah, Simon, who's a Hull City fan, has texted and says, if FIFA go to 64 teams, it will be an absolute joke. Even Hartlepool could qualify. Yeah, but Hull City wouldn't, Simon. Believe you me. Right, still to come, we'll be getting all the latest from the Scotland camp. Of course, they're in action again tomorrow night. Big game for them, isn't it, against Morocco? Ben Stokes will make his return to action for Durham after being named in their squad for the county championship match against Northamptonshire on Friday. England, meanwhile, have moved on to 205 for 5 in reply to New Zealand's 391 all-out in the second test at the Oval. And over on talkSPORT 2 right now, you can hear Czechia against South Africa. Ian Abrahams is watching for talkSPORT.
Now gone in Atlanta, still Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0. Mikael Sadilek's goal on 6 minutes separated the two sides. Two chances in the second half. Patrick Schick with a header from a corner. He should have scored. He headed it straight at the goalkeeper Williams, who was standing in the centre of the goal, either side of him, and the Czechs would have been 2 ahead. And Dorida's shot from 12 yards out was blocked. Again, a better first touch might have led to him scoring. South Africa have had plenty of the ball. They just don't do anything with it. Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0 live on talkSPORT 2.
Game Day live update on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Right now, time to hear some of your shared takes with Burger King.
Shared takes on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Yeah, we're taking your calls. Would you like to see a 64-team World Cup? Do England need to make any changes for their second game? Just before we move to those calls, a very quick text that's come from DT. Great show, chaps. My point is, in this day and age, with travel efficiency and quality, qualification should be in worldwide groupings. For example, England, Austria, Costa Rica, Zambia and Malaysia. Make it a truly worldwide tournament. I'm guessing the players probably wouldn't fancy that
No
too much,
way.
boys.
I don't think so.
No. Right, let's move to the calls, shall we? Tom's first up. He's a Manchester United fan. Afternoon, Tom.
How you doing, boys? You okay?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about a point that I think it was Darren Bent made before saying about Rashford should start. First of all, for what a performance yesterday from the boys. Second half was fantastic. I just don't want this negativity straight away about he got the selection wrong. Talking about Anthony Gordon, I'm just thinking he played really, really well. What Anthony Gordon does, he doesn't stop running. He pressed so well yesterday, and I think although Rashford is clinical for 70 minutes, Anthony Gordon is the perfect player.
What are you saying? We should play players because that press.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying Rashford. Rashford shouldn't start, but I just don't want the negativity of he got the selection wrong. I think if he got the selection wrong, we won 4-2, he played really well. Let's not go straight away. I just think if they'd have lost 2-0, I'd have gone, yeah, I got selection wrong. Or if Rashford had come on and scored 3 goals to win the game or whatever, I'd go, yeah, absolutely. But I think, God, he plays so, and it's his first proper England game where it's a big tournament, and I think he played really well. That's not knocked them straight away. It's a first game. Just get behind the boys a bit more. Second half, I thought they were absolutely brilliant, and they were all they all contributed to every single goal in their own way.
Yeah,
I just don't want the selection because Rashford. I'm a massive United fan. You know what I mean? And Rashford, he does glimpses of running, but he doesn't do it like all the. And I think what Tuchel wants to do, he wants a team that's going to press straight away. And Rashford's good to come off 20 minutes to go, tired legs to get a goal, but don't just go, oh, Rashford should start. I just think, come on now, just relax a little bit. I thought it was a great selection. First 20 minutes was nervy, but I thought it was a great performance. And I've never seen anything like that before from an England team, especially at the start of a World Cup. We always It's always very sluggish.
Yeah, Tom, thanks for the call. I don't think anybody was knocking the team selection. It's just about opinions, really, isn't it? And the point Tom made right at the end, though, Carl, I mean, that's the important thing. It's been a while since England have produced an attacking performance as exciting as that.
No, and I think what he's just said there, I think he's got a lot of legs to run with that, you know, Anthony Gordon's probably done the groundwork there for Rashford. You know, the fullback's tired. All of a sudden you're looking at the bench and you see Marcus Rashford coming on and you're thinking, well, I've just played 70 minutes against Anthony Gordon, and Rashford's probably reaped the rewards a little bit from there with a tired fullback. And, you know, I think it was a good chop and a good finish, but Anthony Gordon's, you know, done the hard work, I think, you know, prior to that for him to go and get them goal.
Jake is an Aston Villa fan. Afternoon, Jake.
Good afternoon, Jake.
Hi, guys. Gabby, big fan.
Oh, up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Okay, that's enough for you, Jake. That's absolutely enough.
Yeah, Carl's coming back, he said.
What do you want to say, Jake?
It was similar to your last caller. It was about the negativity. I was listening to Andy and Benty this morning, and they was talking, you know, saying there was a lot of negativity and stuff, and I was just looking at...
Yeah, well, I'll just say, just before I go any further, Jake, you shouldn't listen to that, because I mean, it's the breakfast team, B team, that are on presenting there now, you know?
True.
Just listen to us instead, mate. It's been all positivity here.
No, that's true. No, I was just looking at the players on the bench, and I've done a bit of research, and between Kane, Tony and Watkins, they've got a combined 118 goals for last season. And the next team down is France with 102. So if that was the performance last night with that team, look at the players that we've got to come and the positivity that it's going to bring. I mean, it's super exciting rather than negative, I think.
Yeah, I think Carl's right as well. The manager's not daft. He'll know that Gordon done what he asked. And maybe everyone might think Rashford might start now, but you'd be like, no, Gordon's starting again. Could be Madueke starting again because they did the groundwork.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, won't it, if England win their first two games and are going to qualify as the top side in the group, if he decides to give Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney a chance.
Yeah, I think just down to what we've got in quality in the team, that's probably why some people are questioning certain things. It's not, I would never say it's negative, it's just the expectations that the England team carry. And with the squad that we've got and the depth of squad that we've got, there's always going to be questions. But, you know, the first and most important thing was the 3 points, and that's what we got.
Can I ask you, like, your experience, Carl, and maybe other players, when you spoke to them pre-tournament, of, like, the pressures of, like, you know, the media's like, we haven't won the World Cup since 1966. Is that coming to your way of thinking when you go into a tournament during it, of the pressures of back home, everyone's desperate? Sometimes we can be the laughing stock of, like, Germany's in Spain. Oh, England, you're the needy guy, he's not going to win a trophy.
I think you look back to Russia, and we probably went into Russia with no expectations whatsoever. Got to a semi-final, obviously lost in the third place playoff to Belgium, but after then we created our own pressure because we did so well in that tournament. Now it's down to you as a group of individuals that the media can say whatever they want to say. Obviously we have an opinion on talkSPORT to tell, you know, the fans that what we think as ex-pros and stuff like that, but it comes down to the group as individuals and what you want to do as a collective. Getting to finals and stuff like that, it's great, but you need to cross the line. And at some point, this group of men do need to cross the line at some stage because it's a great team to let slide by, and we don't want another golden generation just going past that again.
Jake, thanks very much for the call. Steve, you're next. Manchester United fan, Steve.
Just to say, it's not Saturday afternoons haven't been the same since you left the TV, Jeff.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Used to love watching every Saturday afternoon. Anyway, I think you touched on it just a minute ago. Basically, the way we've been lucky with the way the group's sort of going to pan out, because playing what we would call the weaker side last, if we can beat Ghana and the other game goes the way it should do, I'm assuming it's still, if you're level on points, it goes on head to head. We've won the group. So we can pretty much drop the entire first 11 and play an entire new first 11 for the last game.
Yeah. It's an interesting point. The question is, would you do that, though, Kyle? Or would you want to maintain some momentum?
It's if buts and maybes. I think, obviously, everyone's saying that, like, you know, the last caller there, the way the group's panned out, but we've had to beat Croatia first.
Yeah.
You know, the group don't pan out that way unless we don't beat Croatia. So, listen, Thomas will have something in mind that if we was to beat Ghana going into the last game, can he change it up a little bit? I don't think you want to change too much because you still want the momentum and the mood to carry on forward into the most important.
What players would you not? You know, like, who's the most important player that we couldn't risk against Panama that could be injured for the next round of 32.
I don't think I look so much on being injured. Obviously, you don't want him to be injured, but you want, Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney to be given an opportunity that if called upon, like Ollie did against Netherlands and coming on and scoring that goal, you want them to feel part of the group. I think the wingers you could probably change and maybe give a centre midfielder. I don't really like changing the back fours and the goalkeeper just because you need a strong defence. But I think you can kind of experiment with people further up.
Yes.
Steve, thanks for the call. If you've got a shared take of your own, you can voice note us or simply give us a call, 03717 223344. That's all thanks to Burger King.
Shared takes on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Thomas Zuchek on for Czechia at the moment. They're just in the middle of a hydration break. Czechia lead South Africa by 1-0, and the South African chances of progressing on the basis of this are somewhere between 0 and 0, you would say. They've not threatened at all during the course of that. It's 6:31. You're listening to World Cup Game Day Live.
Donald Trump has been given license to join the World Cup winners in their trophy lift, just as he did, as you remember, at the Club World Cup. The US president has already been told by FIFA, we want you, President Trump, to hand over the trophy to the eventual champions. I mean, I wonder, what does that look like as far as you're concerned? Is it right and proper that Trump, of all people, should be right in the middle of it all come the trophy lift?
I think it would be hugely popular if England were to win the trophy, if Trump wrestled the World Cup off Harry Kane and began to do a little conga. I think everyone in Britain would share my view that would be absolutely magnificent. No, I think it's got the potential to be quite embarrassing, but I think that Trump is quite savvy about the reaction to what happened with the World Club Championship. If he's not, his son Barron is, because his son Barron loves football, loves our football. He's actually an Arsenal fan. And I think he will probably have a quiet word with the old man and say, look, Dad, it should you get the trophy anywhere near you, don't try and grab it.
Well, as you know, Simon, who's right beside me here, always says politicians should stay out of football. So, Simon, why should they make an exception for the president?
Because you have to manage this man, whether you disagree with his principles or you agree with them, it's kind of irrelevant. In my ideal world, would have politicians nowhere near sports. So when the German politicians yesterday were saying they weren't going to come because they disagree with certain aspects of Trump's outlook, I said, hallelujah, more of that. The situation with Trump has a relatively unique feel about it because Trump is such an omnipotent character that it does add to the argument. But if I had my ideal world, I would be saying, Trump nowhere near it. In terms of being on the pitch, dealing with the trophy, that's someone else's responsibility, and it steers into the narrative that I always underpin my arguments with. Keep these politicians away from leveraging sports, whoever it may be. So I can't have it both ways. I can't say, well, you know, I've got no problem with Trump, full stop. I recognise the fact that he's probably the most powerful man in the world, and he is, to some extent, omnipotent in whatever he does. But
now, who'd have thought the plan to get the best from your greatest ever goal scorer might help England get their straps?
I commentated on Argentina 2 nights ago, and everything those other 10 players do is to get the best out of Lionel Messi. And I'm starting to see that with England. I'm starting to see them work for our talisman, work for Harry Kane.
That's Andros Townsend, ex-England and Kane's former club teammate, telling talkSPORT he's encouraged by Thomas Tuchel getting runners around the striker. But defensively, there remain questions after the 4-2 win over Croatia. Here's Steve Bruce on Stones and Konsa as a pairing.
As a team, I think we can
defend better. It's not just picking on two individuals like your centre-backs.
Yeah.
They may need a bit of protection.
Remember, you can hear England's second World Cup game live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night. That's against Ghana. Meanwhile, we'll bring you Scotland-Morocco live at 11 tomorrow night. The former Scotland midfielder Barry Bannon's told us, on reflection, the win over Haiti's become a better result as the tournament's gone on.
Looking at all the other results that have happened and the shocks that have happened so far, you can look back at that result now and be positive about it.
We'll be hearing from Steve Clarke later today. And Ben Stokes, not currently with the England cricket team, will play for Durham in the county championship starting tomorrow. Remember, we'll have live updates of England's second test against New Zealand throughout.
6:37 Thursday, June the 18th. Remember this?
I do not know.
No, it's before your time, mate. This is the Kinks.
I've heard of them, though.
I should think you have heard of them.
Good band.
One of the great sort of pop rock bands that they used to allow.
What era?
Late 60s.
Okay, yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, just before I was born.
Yeah, just before your time. Sadly, not before my time. You're listening to World Cup Game Day on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. After us at 7, Adrian Durham's along with live coverage of Switzerland against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Let's head back to the Oval now. England 5 wickets down, and oh my word, it was so nearly 6, Sam.
Oh, Rachin Ravindra dropped 3 catches at Lords. They were all absolute. 2 of the 3 were absolute dollies, and he's just dropped another one here at the Oval. He's having some series, dropping catches, not scoring runs. What are you doing, Rachin Ravindra? England 216 for 5. James Roux dropped on 23. A short ball by Will O'Rourke. Roux on the pull. We got a top edge. It went high in the air. Rachin Ravindra stationed at fine leg came in, and he just never looked like he was going to take the catch. He almost sort of walked in. It goes in, it goes out. A lifeline for James Roux. England lost 3 wickets in the space of 9 overs to go from 142 for 2 to 177 for 5. That brought the 2 Davidsons to the crease together. The partnership worth 39 runs now. Before that top edge from James Roux. Both these guys have looked pretty assured of the crease. Cox has got 16, Roux's got 24. A couple of eye-catching boundaries. A back foot punch through the offside for Cox. Roux's been driving well, and England have got 22 minutes to get through the end of day 2. Cox has got 16, Roux's got 24 earlier today. New Zealand first innings being bowled out for 391. A first test match century for Glenn Phillips, who played beautifully. England 216 for 5, trailing New Zealand by 175 runs.
Thanks, Sam. Sam Ellard at the Oval for talkSPORT. Now, over on talkSPORT 2, you can hear Cheshire against South Africa right now. I have to be honest, from what I've seen, South Africa are being, well, hopeless.
Home time, isn't it?
Let's get the latest from Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, 12 minutes to go. Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0. It does look like South Africa to lose and go home. They won't be eliminated tonight. I mean, they could still win their last game against South Korea, but it looks very unlikely. As for Czech Republic, they're 1 up, but it's really curious. They really need to score more goals, because they're to be one of the 8 best third-place teams, you would think. They go to Mexico to take on the host, Mexico, in their last game. But it's been like walking football for the last 10 minutes. The best part, the hydration break got booed. Players don't want it, fans don't want it. But apart from the people who spend 4 hours in Hartlepool having one, no one seems to like it. It's live on talkSPORT 2, Czech Republic 1, South Africa 0.
Game Day live update on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Something like 10 or 11 minutes left in that game, plus a bit of added time. The Czech Republic leading by a goal to nil. Now, as we round up all of the latest... Oh, I'll tell you what, no. What we're going to do now is we're going to slide into Game Day with Burger King.
Sliding into Game Day on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Yeah, as we round up all the latest from the World Cup each day, we'll be choosing 3 key talking points to discuss ahead of all of the action. And to help us do just that, we're joined live from Dallas by our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Afternoon, Crookie.
Hello, Alex.
Afternoon, boys. We good?
Yeah, we're good. So, what have you been up to out there?
Well, obviously, we were at the England game last night. Thoroughly enjoyed that. What a performance going forward to kick off the Three Lions bid for World Cup glory. Then we went to Fort Worth to a Texan bar, did a bit of line dancing, mingling with the locals, and you join me poolside now. Lots of England fans staying in our accommodation, splashing around in the pool, all very happy about the start that Thomas Tuchel's side made last night.
Crooked, there's been a lot of talkSPORT staff that haven't been happy with your jolly up, and everyone's been asking, they hope you're not on a day rate.
I've been told to bring the colour, Gabs, and I've been doing just that. I got on a rodeo last night. Didn't last very long, it has to be said. We're off horse racing this weekend. Jeff knows I'm a big horse racing fan, so it'll be good to see how they do it US style. We had a meat feast at a local barbecue the other day, so I'm feeling pretty Texan at the moment, it has to be said.
Yeah. It's interesting, sort of reversal of roles there, Crookie, because people say you're full of bull normally, but this time, it was the other way around. Look, following us at 7, Adrian's hosting coverage of Switzerland against Bosnia. Team News is in for that one. Let's get all the details now with commentator Nigel Adderley.
For both of these teams after 1-1 draws in the first match. 2 changes for Switzerland, who drew 1-1 with Qatar. Sylvain Widmer and Fabian Rieder come into their team. 40-year-old Edin Dzeko is back to captain Bosnia, and the 18-year-old Kerim Alabegovic will be alongside him in attack. We're underway in Los Angeles at 8 o'clock.
Thanks very much indeed, Nigel. Now, you were there, Crookie, last night. What did you make of the performance?
I think going forward, absolutely sensational and already more entertaining this England than watching England at the last European Championships with Gareth Southgate. I guess if you're being overly critical, you might question the defending for the 2 Croatian goals. I don't think John Stones covered himself in glory for the first one, nor Ezri Konsa for the second. But to score 4 goals against a side usually so defensively stubborn as Croatia, I think is an excellent start. Gives them the platform now to go on and top the group, and we can start to map out England's route once it comes to knockout rounds, can't we? It looks at the moment like they're going to end up in Mexico in that round of 16, which I know a lot of our England guys, Stuart Pearce, Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot, are really looking forward to.
Crookie, listen, we want to be positive. In second half, I thought it was a fantastic performance when the subs come on as well. Bellingham done great, Rodgers, Saka when they come on, Rashford took his goal well. But do we have to look a bit at the quality of Croatia and how good were they really?
Yeah, they had no legs, Gabs.
No.
And, I think it's sad in some ways because they've been a nation who've punched above their weight in recent tournaments, but it looked like age had caught up with them, particularly Luka Modric, who obviously went off quite early in the game. But I think Thomas Tuchel, in fairness to him, realised they didn't have legs, and that's why it was such a front-footed approach. It wasn't the pragmatism that we became accustomed to under Gareth Southgate. I think he realised that England had more energy than their opponents, and they utilised that going forward. You mentioned Marcus Rashford there. I was disappointed by Anthony Gordon's performance. I think Rashford will be disappointed if he's not now in the starting 11 when they play Ghana in the next game.
By the way, there's been an equalising goal from South Africa from the penalty spot.
Great team, South Africa, Jeff.
It's what I said all along. I said there was going to be a twist in the tail here, and you could see
Harry Kane should be watching this. That's how you take a penalty, Harry.
Yeah, tucked away into the corner. We'll bring it to date on that in just a moment or two. But just quickly, while you're on, Crookie, all the talks about Cristiano Ronaldo and his performance and the fact he was left on for a full 90 minutes. Is Roberto Martinez going to change his mind at all about Ronaldo and not start him?
Ronaldo leading the line up front. They didn't look it yesterday. I thought he was really underwhelming. And actually, if you look at it, over the last 48 hours, the big stars have come out to play, haven't they? Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, Lionel Messi and Harry Kane with his 2 goals last night. Ronaldo has been left behind. I think Portugal have got so much talent in their squad, but their Achilles heel is Cristiano Ronaldo. And I mean that with no disrespect. He's an all-time great, one of the best players we've ever seen, up there with Lionel Messi. But again, he doesn't have the mobility now, does he, to get around the pitch?
No.
And in these conditions, I think it's a big issue for Portugal. We broke the story a couple of days ago that Roberto Martinez will leave at the end of this tournament. Whatever happens, he's not going to renew his contract. That's his decision. And I think his decision to put so much faith in Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be a problem for Portugal, because, as I say, man for man, they're up there with the most talented squads in the tournament, but they didn't show that yesterday.
I just want to briefly dash back off to Atlanta. Some really colourful scenes in the stands right now from South African fans celebrating the equaliser. Tell us all about it, Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, 5 minutes to go, really against the run of play. Czech Republic 1, South Africa 1. Maseko came inside, right just inside the penalty area, left-hand side. His shot struck an arm, penalty given. Tebeko Mokoena struck it away, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. And now suddenly, South Africa do fancy their chances. Czech Republic 1, South Africa 1, 4 minutes plus added time to play.
Game Day live update on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Crookie, thanks very much indeed, mate.
Top man, Alex. Enjoy, pal.
Cheers, boys.
And that was a look at some of the day's key talking points, all thanks to Burger King.
Sliding into Game Day on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Big day coming up for Scotland as they take on Morocco. We'll be looking at that next on World Cup Game Day Live.
I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. We had a nervy 5-10 minutes opening, and a bit of a nervy first half and stuff. I think we need to communicate a bit more with the back four, between the back four and the midfield.
Yeah.
But I could see the high press, and I like the way Pickford was acting as a little bit of a sweeper and sucking their players in, so we could create some gaps in the midfield. I think the only way, and second half, I think we were superb, but I think the only way we're going to win this World Cup is there's two things. Firstly, obviously keeping Kane fit.
Mhm.
That's absolutely imperative. And the second thing is we will win most of our games from the 70th minute onwards with the attacking players we have on the bench.
Yeah.
It's almost like an embarrassment of riches. Attacking, exciting players. I like the way he just made 3 changes.
Yeah.
And they were positive changes. But
he brought on, when you bring he brought on Morgan Rogers, Saka, and Rashford. I mean, that Croatia must have been thinking, oh, here we go. I mean, and other teams watching that going, God, you know what? They have got a lot of good players, and they come on. And not only that, are they athletes. I thought Jed Spence was fantastic when he come on as well. Yeah. Quick, athletic, good 1v1, driving forward. And, look, as the tournament goes on, we're going to be playing in different climates. It's going to be hot. What I saw in the last 20 minutes, we look good.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good afternoon, you're listening to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor, along with Kyle Walker, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. US Open Golf underway at Shinnecock Hills. Let's get an update with talkSPORT's Gabby Partington.
Yes, the American Sam Stevens has the sole lead at 2 under par and is going very nicely. Bogey free on his back 9. He picked up 3 birdies in 5, so he sets them up there at 2 under par. Rory McIlroy rolled in his first birdie of his back 9 to move in 1 off the lead alongside his playing partner in Ludvig Åberg. Norway's Chris Reitan also right in there, continuing his fine form that has already brought him a maiden PGA Tour victory in his rookie season. And what about the world number 1? Well, Scheffler's hanging in there at 3 over par, which actually isn't miles off it considering the conditions. And we're, of course, too used to seeing Scheffler getting better as the week goes on. One better, Adam Scott, who's playing in his 100th consecutive major this week, just knocked in a 14-footer for birdie on the 11th. A lot's happened, but still more golf to be played, including from this star-studded 3-ball in Justin Rose, Jon Rahm and John Spieth, who head out at 9:10 UK time.
Thanks very much indeed, Gabby. England lost a week at 217 for 6. Roux is the man out for 24. Following us from 7, Adrian Durham hosts live coverage of Switzerland against Bosnia. And right, tomorrow, of course, what a day it is for Scotland. Their second group game, they're trying to follow up that victory against Haiti as they take on Morocco. Steve Clarke and Andy Robinson have just been speaking in their press conferences. You'll be able to hear that from 7 with Adrian. Let's get the latest from the camp now as we head out to the States and chat to our Scotland reporter, Siobhan Ahern. Hi, Siobhan.
Siobhan.
Guys, good to see you, good to hear from you. Listen, you're just speaking about Sam Stevens taking the lead at the US Open. As I watch my producer, Sam Stevens, hold onto the camera and light tripod as a storm hits Boston, as the Tartan Army pile in ahead of our game against Morocco tomorrow. The weather's turned last week. It was 34 degrees here. As we checked out the stadium, today it's 22 degrees, pedalling down, and the storm's arrived as well in true Scots fashion.
Oh, it's glorious over here as well, Siobhan.
Yes.
Glorious.
Heat wave.
But look, Steve Clarke and Andy Robertson just given their press conference. Any news out of it?
Yeah, all players are fit and available, which is great because we were missing Scott McKenna, weren't we, last week? He's been struggling with a calf niggle, and he was in the open training a couple of days ago. He missed open training yesterday, but he trained with the squad today, so that's looking good. Steve Clarke in a little bit of a quieter form today, I would say, Jeff. He's been pretty bubbly with the media of late, so it was nice to see him back to his usual kind of zone, the Steve Clarke that we're used to, which makes me wonder, is he going to change it up for this game against Morocco and maybe not play too up front like we did see against Haiti and like we did see against the sides in the warm-up against Bolivia and Curacao as well?
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, because a lot of people were impressed by Morocco in their opening game with Brazil.
So was he, Jeff. He said that to us today, Steve Clarke, he said, for me, Morocco are the real deal. So he knows he's got a mountain to climb in this game. He's got nothing but respect for the opposition. He sees them as one of the best teams in the world. But that said, he looks at his squad as a star-studded squad. He doesn't want to focus too much on John McGinn, too much on Scott McTominay, those players that are taking the headlines. He thinks he's got 26 stars in his squad. So we know what we have to do. We have to turn up. The pressure is off us ever so slightly. It was definitely on us against Haiti. And just enjoy this one. That's something he's really focusing on as well. It's different to hear Steve Clarke in this light talking about enjoying a tournament, encouraging his players to do that as well. But if we're to get a win against Morocco, get a point against Morocco, guys, we're making history. We'll be getting to the last 32, and that's never happened to a Scotland team.
Carl Walker's grinning at you,
Oh God, that's
Shaban.
funny, Gabby.
It's Carl Walker's making me laugh.
Kyle, I'm glad you find that funny as well.
No comment.
Brilliant, Shaban. Don't
Thank
get
you,
blown
Shaban.
away. Go get some shelter.
We're not in Kansas anymore, guys. Bye.
Aye. What do you think about Scotland? I mean, look, they did what they needed to do against Haiti, but you know, I saw a lot of the Brazil-Morocco game. I thought Morocco were pretty impressive. Kyle, do you think they'll be too good for Scotland?
It's going to be a different game to the first one. Obviously, they get the first result, 3 points, that duck off their back. But this is a good Morocco side. I think what we've seen against Brazil the other day, they're going to cause Scotland problems, and this is what they need to be up against if they're going to go further in this competition.
Gabby, quick word on John McGinn. You know, as Roy Keane saying, he was a pub team player. Yeah,
Good pub.
Brought back the old, well,
I want to go to that pub.
remember the old advertising campaign? If Carlsberg did pub team players,
Exactly.
I mean,
John would be one.
Yeah, I mean, he's some player, isn't he?
He's unbelievable. I mean, I wished I played with him. Carl's played against him. I'm sure Carl will know him as well off the pitch as well. The nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a good heart and he plays like a leader. That second leg against Forest, he was a man possessed. He was putting all the tackles in, 2 great goals, and a Villa legend, a proper legend.
Yeah. Tartan Army has been absolutely brilliant out there. So for their sake, I hope that the team performs against Morocco and picks up the point, which would definitely see them through to the next stages. Carl, been brilliant having you here.
Thank you, pal.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Is it straight back home then now?
Straight back home, 4 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
The
goodness.
pre-season runs in the morning. Get himself fit. I'm not jealous.
Switzerland against Bosnia is live here next to. Tell you what, Gabby.
Yep.
I could get used to this, mate.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it?
It is very nice.
Jeff, you've got pulled, mate. Get it done.
Yeah.
Get it over the line, Jeff.
But I tell you what, mate.
Andy and Benty love it in the morning. They love it.
They love it. Okay.
Yeah, Benty loves the early mornings.
Yeah. Well, they'll be with you at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank goodness we'll be back here at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Bye bye.
What Jed Spence done, he could have scored, Jed Spence, right? There is no way that any player on that pitch, had they played the amount of minutes, could have got through where he did. He's got legs, he's an athlete. He had a part in.
He's a brilliant player. I'm not disagreeing with that.
But I think he can impact the game, not from the start. Jed Spencer's not going to start in the World Cup.
Oh, I don't know, you know.
He ain't starting.
I don't know.
Unless it's
I
going to
think-
be against Panama in the last game. He ain't starting. He's
Do you
not
know what?
starting
I reckon
against
he's
Ghana.
gonna start. I think against France, Brazil, he's a better option than Reece James. He's quicker than Reece